like the
You're already back.
yes, the glow effect, the being relaxed, like everything about it is like it's a day. One day and it's gone.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely had that before. I've
Yeah.
had vacations before where I haven't really like done much at all on the time off except chill and just have Zen time. And I'm like, I'm a different person now. Like, this
Right.
is the new and improved Rachel.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be upset ever again. And then like 30 minutes.
Tuesday rolls around. You're like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah. Everyone's like, hey, how's your vacation? No, that's great. Here's some crap. Let me just load your bucket up a little bit more.
Yeah, for me, it was like on the plane back, like the flight attendant's like, would you like a glass of water? And I'm like, oh, now we're just starting in with this, aren't we?
Yeah. Interesting. I think it's interesting, an interesting concept. Andrew and I had a meeting with the bosses today, and it's basically like, hey, we need to do things this way. We need to do more of this and more of that. And it's all technology, and it's, like we're going to bring AI into it, and we're going to use this tool and that tool, and we're going to do video clips, and we're going to do this and that. And I'm just wondering, because I'm still doing the same job I've always done. I still have 4 hours to fill on a radio show, which is my primary job. But now you have other things and videos and vignettes and podcasts and all this kind of stuff. So it's kind of like a second job. It's probably, for me personally, it hasn't added a bunch because, Andrew does a bunch of that stuff and other people do it. I'm not one of the boys in the truck. I don't have to push buttons or levers. But I wonder if everyone's job has become like that, with like the new technology. If everyone making donuts is now making donuts and they're doing this and this and this and this.
I think that is the case. I remember, and this is 15 years ago, walking around our old radio station and hearing somebody, one of the people who had been there longer, say something about how there used to be 3 times as many people here. But with the advent of this technology, that has allowed a lot of places to cut, downsize, cut down employee numbers and all that sort of thing. So it ends up being a little strange sometimes because you're like, well, this isn't really what I was hired to do. You know what I mean? Like sometimes people will come to you and they'll be like, all right, so now you have to do this. Now this is going to be like a big part of your job. And you're like, well, I didn't.
And you pretty much have to say
really
yes.
You don't really have a choice in the matter.
At
but
least
it's
in
like
this business, I remember way back when, this has probably been 15 years or so ago, back at the old place, and they rolled out digital to us. And at the time, it meant nothing. And I remember witnessing 4 of the top salespeople gathered like in a little huddle. And I saw them physically do it. And later I learned that they were saying, hey, we sell most of the advertising around here. We're not going to do digital. That's not what they hired us to do. We sell radio. We don't even know what digital is. None of them are here. They were all gone within a year. So it's one of those things that, like, you read the handwriting on the wall, and it used to be that there are some things you could say, yeah, that's not really what I do. Don't say that these days.
No.
Well, like video's a great example. I don't hate the video stuff, and we're adapting to it, but I don't really know anything about it. You know what I mean? Like, that wasn't when I was, hired for this job many, many years ago. That was not like part of the skill set that I had or that I even needed at the time. But now with the advent of like, now video is kind of like this big thing that is making a huge impact on the industry and every other industry too. Now it's like, all right, you have to, you gotta learn how to adapt. And I think there is some element to that with your job, because you do have to be aware of all this stuff.
Yeah.
Social media was not even close to a thing when you started the show. You're like, all right, I'm starting this show so that I can be on the radio and I can do a radio thing. And now 25 years later, all these people are like, okay, and don't forget, you got to have TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and Facebook.
They treat me with kid gloves around here. They're very gentle with me. And so it wasn't until 6 months or so ago when we started doing the stream where they're like, no, we're going to do this. I'm like, I don't think so. They're like, no,
well, we're doing it.
We're going to do it. So you're going to be on camera.
Yeah. I think for a long time, most jobs were just like, it's the same job forever.
Yeah.
You have a job, you know what to do, you're doing that job, and it doesn't change very much. But things change fast now.
Yes.
So if you're not willing or able to adapt, and I do think younger people should be pretty good at adapting because they're used to change, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're used to new things coming in. And, certain parts of this job are exactly the same as they were 25 years ago, 30 years ago when you and I were getting started in radio. Like turn on the mic and you got to talk. And you got to be interesting and you got to have something to say. And whether it's knowledgeable or funny, whatever, it's got to, you understand that part hasn't changed.
Right.
But you do have to understand social media. You do have to understand the importance of podcasts and what it means to get them up on time. Like there are other things that go into it now that didn't exist 20 years ago.
Also, so our rating system changed 15 years or so ago. And there are specific ways to do a show. It's called PPM, personal something meters. People meters. And that work. And that's something that I still have not adapted because to me, that's changing the product. And part of it is music radio. If you've listened to music radio lately, it's like you've got 5 seconds.
Oh, it's a formula down to the minute. Yeah, down to the second. Yeah.
You're gone.
Yeah.
And in talk radio, you are a couple of things. You're supposed to just like hit the hole, man. Like no, dinking around. You just run the ball straight up the middle. As soon as you come back from break, don't play much music. Get right into it. Hit them with a topic, blah, 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 which I don't do. But this show has been described by consultants as the lazy river of radio. Like you just never know where it's going to go. But I don't know how to do the other thing. I don't, and I'm not being self-deprecating, like tell me I'm pretty. I don't know how to do the other thing where it's, I don't know what I'm going to do next. Like in the next segment, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's whatever I feel like doing, but you're supposed to have it discernible, definable, boom, there you go.
Oh, I mean, so when I think that there are extremes in the business that are also maybe too extreme, right? Like, before I came to KMOX, I was doing work at ESPN in Bristol on radio, not on TV. I am not a TV person. But they make you script out your teases. Like you have to write them down. Here's the tease for the next segment. And if you don't, your producer writes it for you and you're expected to just read it. And you have a really sharp like rundown. This is what we're hitting at 1 o'clock, 1:15, 1:30, 1:45, 2 o'clock. And we have something like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we have that rundown. But theirs is much more specific, and you're going to hit this topic here and this topic here, and maybe in this segment we're going to do 2 topics instead of 1. And I think it's too much, and I don't think it's helpful. Yeah. And it's certainly when you're doing at that level, you're doing national radio, you're not getting ratings anyway.
I do the teases. I try to do the teases. Steve's always on me, and I really do want to please him and make him happy and do what he thinks is going to be best for the show. Sometimes I just forget, but I told him, I'm like, I got to tell you something. There are other shows I listen to and they shouldn't tease because when they say what's coming up, I'm bored by the topic and I go somewhere else.
That's a good point.
You got to have something to sell.
You got to have a good tease. And it either needs to be a compelling guest, like a name.
But you can't fake me out.
No.
Because once you do that,
now I don't trust you.
Clickbait. Yeah,
right.
Like coming up, the most amazing thing you've ever heard.
So while you hear a lot of that in teases, you hear a lot of mystery.
Yes.
Like we're not telling you what we're talking about, but it's amazing. Well, then it better deliver.
Yeah.
And that's the other part of that process of going through this inside radio stuff is you got to deliver, which is the number one thing. The number one thing is if you're not regularly delivering, which is what this show does really well. Whether it's promised or not, it's you're getting what you're expecting.
Rachel, were you trying to jump in there?
Yeah, but I mean, we kind of went past the topic that I was going to comment on, so it's not a big deal.
I have another one that's very related. In any business, but especially in entertainment, you will be preached to about how you have to be constantly evolving. I've kind of touched on this before, but I don't like when my creators evolve, like my beloved Sasquatch Chronicles. I've not listened in 6 months.
Wow.
Because he started doing paranormal.
I got you. He expanded the field.
Yeah, he was doing aliens and he was doing this. And I'm like, dude, first of all, I'm not here for you. Like my favorite thing about the host of Sasquatch Chronicles was he just introduced the person and got out of the way.
Let them tell the story.
Loved him. He was my favorite host. He really was. He just let them tell a story about seeing Bigfoot. And now that it's more focused on him, and I would never tell another creative, like, you can't do this or you shouldn't do this. But I think it's an interesting concept that we're always wanting our people to evolve. And yet, I don't know about you guys, but personally, I don't. Like, I miss, now I'm going to sound a million years old, but I miss when Food Network was about cooking shows before, like, everything was a competition or, like drama and all that kind of thing. Like, I don't like it when things evolve.
No, I think that's fair. And I think it's, just speaks to the balance that you have to strike with this show. Obviously, we want to grow the show. We want to go along with everything the company wants us to do because ultimately it is a good thing. But if we change too many things, it alienates the very loyal listeners that you've had for over 2 decades. So there's just always a balance that you have to try and find. I respect the opinions of consultants up to an extent, but then it's also like, well, if you know how to do it, why don't you have a show? Like, why don't you do? I mean, I appreciate the suggestions and things, but ultimately it comes down to like who's actually doing it every single day. And the thing that frustrates me, and this is, nothing anyone in this building has anything to do with, but like sometimes it just feels like the on-air product is like an afterthought for some folks. It's like, well, yeah, we got to do all this stuff and then you'll do the show too. And it's like, well, the show is kind of the most important thing in my mind, and everything else is just nice on top of that. And I think since we do the show that way, that's what makes it, good quality. And, we're not necessarily doing a segment trying to get a viral moment out of it so we can post it later. We're just having like organically interesting segments. So
yeah, that's the difference between a show like ours that is a show, and we may highlight some stuff on social media, and a show that there's really no show there at all. It's just a social media play.
Yes.
That's very different. And my kind of show is becoming rare. The kind of show where it's like, look at us, flippity do. Oh, by the way, we do a radio show. That's becoming the norm. And it's becoming the norm because that's what younger people want, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Jake says,
is it what they want, or is it what we're being told by consultants they want? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Rachel touched on something about our show that isn't necessarily true of a lot of the industry at the moment, is that we always put the show first before any extra stuff. And I think that the proof is kind of in the pudding there by like the success that the show has had. Like, I think the show has had success, not in spite of the fact that we put the show first, but because we put the show first.
Yeah, I would like to think so.
I would too.
But you're always wrong. You're always wrong.
Oh, yeah.
I know I'm always wrong.
Everyone's always wrong. Like you're never 100% right.
No.
Which I had to learn the hard way. But you just don't know what percent you're wrong about.
It's interesting. The sports guy here, but what we know about how shows and radio stuff works ratings wise now, we didn't know 25 years ago because we just knew what people wrote down and what they said. So it was more observational. Think about how we understand sports better now because of the things that we can measure and post and find, as opposed to just had to trust your eye before. Yeah. Well, your eye was wrong a lot. You just didn't know you were wrong. Now that feedback of right or wrong tends to be pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah. We've solved a lot of problems.
Let's
in one
go.
segment.
Boom.
Yeah.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Paid for by Action Matters. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
Attention parents of children who have used the gaming platform known as Roblox. If your child was a victim of sexual abuse or harm of any kind while using the Roblox platform, you may be entitled to compensation. Roblox is facing multiple high-profile lawsuits, including an ongoing class action, alleging it failed to protect users from foreseeable dangers that led to the grooming, exploitation, and sexual abuse of minors on the platform. Claims allege Roblox turned a blind eye to predators, unsafe games, and deceptive monetization practices that targeted children. Victims were contacted through in-game chats and coerced into private conversations on third-party apps. If you believe your child may have been a victim of grooming, sexual abuse, or harm of any kind while using the Roblox platform, you may be entitled to a cash settlement. Text our helpline now to find out if you have a viable compensation claim against Roblox. Text GONE to 32 32 32. That's GONE to 32 32 32. GONE to 32 32 32.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Gain a global perspective and specialized skills that many of today's top employers are seeking with an MBA from University of Maryland Global Campus. Study online and complete your degree in just 16 months for about $21K. Choose from MBA specializations in global business, marketing, HR, finance, and more. No application fee if you apply by September 3rd. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Marilyn Facer recommends 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Working with Dave was an absolute delight. Once everything was scheduled, everything went perfect.
Have you ever had a remodel done before?
About 25 years ago, and it was a nightmare.
Was 3-Day Kitchen and Bath on time?
There was no delays. Everything was on time. All the deadlines were met. Everything came at once.
Would you recommend 3-Day Kitchen and Bath to your friends and neighbors?
I highly recommend them to anybody.
Top quality products and craftsmanship in 3 days or less. Call 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. Always on time as promised, at the price promised, and your job comes with complete satisfaction guarantee. No ifs, ands, or buts. Visit their website at 3daykitchen.com. That's 3daykitchen.com.
3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
The Siteman Cancer Center spotlight how an innovative immunotherapy is showing promise against aggressive T-cell cancers. Joining us is Dr. John DiPersio.
Until very recently, until this paper and a few other groups in the world have sort of developed approaches for T-cell malignancies, there was no hope for patients who relapsed. There were no effective therapies. This is a way of treating these patients that would normally have no other recourse.
For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
The Dave Glover Show, weekdays at 1 on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. One more thing, just about a little inside radio. I did an interview today for A Town in Style about the show, and now I kind of lost my train of thought. It's not going exactly where I thought it was going to go. It wasn't going to be interesting. It was going to be way too much like, look at me. So, yeah.
Well,
you just wanted to flex.
I mean, your name's on the show.
I just wanted to
brag.
say Town in Style. No, but I was telling Bill, who interviewed me, that my show's basically 16 shows. Like, we have 16 segments a day, and they don't relate to each other. It's not like at 97.1 where they may do something not Trump, but for the most part, it's all going to be politics. Mm-hmm. Whereas here, it can be literally anything at any time.
Yeah, I tell you guys all the time, like, especially on Fridays, because we just have so many guests in. I'll be like, the show has been so fun, but it also feels like it took like 8 hours to do because so many different topics were covered. So many different people came in. Like, it's really cool. But sometimes I'm thinking back, I'm like, wait, that was today? We talked about that today?
Mm-hmm.
Feels like a million years ago.
Man, I had bad dreams last night, and I had one especially bad nightmare that just has really stuck with me. Did that ever happen to you guys? Like in this dream, Nick and I were together, and he had been taken by some sort of a cult. And so I'm trying to get him out of it. And at some point, I realize he's bought into it, and they're all trying to kill me. And so I jumped in the car, and I took off driving, and then realized, like, oh, I'm leaving my boy behind, and woke up.
Oh, no.
And even though it was a dream, And even though I don't think I would do that in real life, I felt like such an S-bag that was 2 a.m. I was so mad that it was 2 a.m. I wanted it to be like 6 a.m. so I could get up and have coffee and forget about it. But I just laid there, just, folding in on myself.
Yeah, that sounds awful. I'm
It
sorry
was. It was like, I'm used to nightmares being vampires and, like, oh, that was so scary. But I know that the tarantula is not going to get me. Things like that, like interpersonal things about your family, like that sucks.
And then when you're in that spot of just having woken up, you're also not clear-headed.
No.
Right? You're like, what's all that? And then you're like, no, I'm tired. I don't want to get up. And then you lay there and you're like, well, this is happening.
Yeah.
I really think it's partly that mindset, because I haven't had any that what I would call quote unquote nightmares, but I've had dreams like that where I'm like really angry in the dream.
Yes.
Shocking,
Yes.
And then I wake up mad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
And you have dreams where you're not angry and you wake up mad. It's, I think, just how you wake up.
Well, I mean, yeah, kind of. Got to get something to get you going in the morning.
New study kind of confirms what we've always known. A new medical study, like 50,000 people or something that took part, that the happiest life is the simplest life. Keep it simple. Go about your business. Don't make it too complicated. Don't make it too big. Focus on your family. Keep it simple. You'll be happy.
Did they say like in what respect? Because to some people, a simple life means, something different.
Yeah. Yeah. They were saying like live beneath your means, be frugal. Don't try to attach your happiness to the car you drive or the house you live, like more like minimalist. Yeah. More focused on people, less focused on things.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I would agree. I would give that advice to my kids. I don't feel like I've had a simple life. I've had a very dynamic, dense life. And I can honestly say, although I've been screwed over a couple of times, 99 out of 100 of the problems in my life are me, 100% caused by me. But if I had it to do over, I would do simpler. No doubt. Like, Wheels, you have a simple life.
I mean, to a degree, yeah, but I wouldn't say. I mean, I don't know. It's a hard, because I find the balance is where it works the best. Where I always want to have something that you're shooting for, right? Something that's next. That's your target to chase. Whether it's some people, it could be money, it could be a car, it could be a vacation, it could be retirement, it could be whatever. But at the same time, take clutter out. Like there's a lot of stuff I just don't worry about because I can't do anything about it.
Yeah, I'm getting more and more like that the older I get.
At 5, when others are running out of steam, the Redbird Rush Hour hits the gas. Kevin Wheeler, Matt Pauley, and Bernie Miklasz bring sharp analysis, fresh insight, and no recycled takes. Real baseball talk for fans who know the game. Redbird Rush Hour, weekdays at 5 on 104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of St. Louis, the unrivaled voice of baseball.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Dave Murray's weather forecast is sponsored by Chesterfield Fence and Deck.
It's the middle of August. It feels like it, but boy, by our standards, it is nothing extreme. We can certainly deal with this. Partly sunny skies. Let's keep an eye out for a couple of scattered thunderstorms, some with downpours and lightning, though that's not for everybody. Only 92 for the high. We can certainly live with that. Tonight, partly cloudy, a couple of thunderstorms scattered about 73. Wednesday, partly sunny, couple of thunderstorms 90. 92 on Thursday, but upper 90s are back Friday and this upcoming weekend. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Chesterfield Fence and Deck is your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today. Now offering 20% off your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com.
Your home sold guaranteed, or I'll buy it. Hi, I'm Gloria Liu, broker owner at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And for over 20 years, I've been getting my home sellers the most money for their home and selling faster than the average agent. So when you're ready to sell your home or have questions, call me.
And I'm Debbie Monterey. For years, I've been telling you about Gloria Liu and why you should call her. Gloria has solutions and programs for every seller because she understands that every situation is different. Call Gloria and get your free instant home valuation, choose from multiple cash offers, or sell with certainty this summer because Gloria will guarantee upfront and in writing to sell your home at 100% of market value, or she will pay the difference. Hey, the St. Louis market is shifting. Now is a great time to call and get to know Gloria Liu like I have. Call 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Went to Schnucks this morning. I was actually just running in real quick to pick up a couple of bottles of Topo Chico, this sparkling water that I really like. Went and got it off the shelf, and then I was walking up to check out. One of the people who was working at Schnucks was like, "Hey, I have one of those in the cooler if you're interested." I didn't need them cold right at that moment, so I just stuck with what I had. But it was so nice. It just struck me. I'm like, man, that's nice that this person was looking out for me as I'm shopping. They just wanted to be helpful. That's just generally my experience whenever I shop at Schnucks. Just always good vibes, good people, not to mention the fact that they've lowered the prices on thousands of items across the store. So next time you're in store shopping, take a look at those digital price tags, see if maybe the price has lowered on some of your favorite items since the last time you stopped in. Plus, when you use your Schnucks Rewards app, you earn 2% cash back on every single purchase. It's so worth it. It's free and easy to set up. Go do it now. Download the Schnucks Rewards app.
Refresh, restore, and protect your employees and customers. Call Zero Res to clean your business the right way so your floors and surfaces stay cleaner longer without the harmful chemicals the other guys use. Call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
Today, the Cards, the Rockies.
Ameren Total Access 550.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. Happy Tuesday. So Jimmy Kimmel is making plans to move out of the country. France, Italy, I forget which one, unimportant. But my question for you guys is, what, if anything, would bring you to that point of, I think I've had enough of the United States? And what's on the top of your list? Where would you go? And why?
I mean, it would really take a lot to make me want to permanently leave the U.S.
I agree.
I think it's an overall pretty nice place to live.
Agreed.
There's a lot of people who want to live here.
Yes.
So it would take a lot. I don't really have an answer to that question. If I did go somewhere, I'm sure I would want to go to Japan just because the connection with Kurt and stuff. But generally, no, I want to be here. I mean, I did not know Jimmy Kimmel was planning on moving. Is he going to give up his show? Did he say anything about that?
Not sure.
Interesting.
Yeah. Speaking of Kurt.
Oh, yes, it's his birthday today. So
Happy
happy
birthday, Kurt.
to Kurt.
Birthday
Yeah.
boy.
He is the birthday
You
boy.
said that really
Birthday
weird.
boy.
Say that to Kirby at home.
Birthday
boy.
Yeah, I agree, Rach. To me, it would have to be like epic 500-year historic. We've overthrown the Constitution. Having an administration, whether it's the Trump administration or it's an administration in 20 years that I disagree with, that's part of the deal. Like,
Right,
that's just
right.
part of the deal.
Yes.
You know, I mean, if you have allegiance to your country, and I think that's also a very iffy, sketchy thing, because I do feel like my generation was indoctrinated. And I don't think indoctrination is ever a good thing. You know, you got to teach kids. As a parent, you teach them, don't, cross the street without looking both ways, blah, blah, blah. And it's one thing to say, like, this is America and this is why we live here. This is why it's great. But like, just the whole thing was a little bit much. And so now at 60, I'm kind of rethinking, like, well, what is my allegiance, or what do I love? What do I not love? But I'm enough of an American, I agree with Rach, that I wouldn't just let one administration or one change in society like make me go somewhere else. But at the same time, if it really was a sea change and we're no longer the same constitutional republic, we've become something else, sure.
I'm going to Canada.
It's easy. Seems like it'd be easy.
Seems like the easiest one. It's the most, I think, American-like, and it's. I would need to go somewhere that speaks English because I don't speak any other languages, and so the other one would maybe be Australia. If I was gonna like really stretch out and get on a plane instead of just driving or whatever, I would want to go to Australia. Australia seems nice.
Yeah, it would have to be so bad for me to go that I would need to be going somewhere far away, right? If I'm only going to Canada, ain't bad enough for me to leave. Right, that's a little close. If it's to the point where it's so bad, I would leave, because it's probably
You don't wanna
like
be near it.
It's open battle in the streets is what's getting me. Because other than that, I'll deal with it.
Yeah.
Right, and mostly because everything I care about is here. Right, it's not, and I think we get mixed up too often, where it's not a thing. A country's not a thing. It's just the people that live there, and what attaches you to it is your own roots here, your family, your friends, the things that you grow to love, whether that's, American-made movies, whether it's your favorite sports teams, whether it's just any other culture or cultural thing or traditional thing. It's like when people always complain about the government. The government's not a thing. It's just a structure. The human beings are the ones you have problems with.
Yeah.
And it's people doing things incorrectly or doing them badly that makes any country, government, or company or family good or bad.
Yeah.
Right. So, I have allegiance to my family, but you know what? If people in my family are murdering people, I'm not with you anymore. I'm out. You're on your own. See you later.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think if family is the most important thing to most people, like people usually list it God, family, country. Right. Well, if family is of the earthly things, if family's number one, if your family could lose you, then why can't your country? Because to me, the country is just an extension of family. That's what it should be. And families fight, and they don't always get along, and you don't always see things the same way. And that's totally cool until some groups take it too far.
Yeah.
So if it gets to that point, then I got to go far away. And it's got to be far enough away where it's not like right next door. I'd be comfortable all over Europe. I mean, probably would pick France because I speak it. But I got to tell you, Andrew's Australia sounds really good, because of the distance and because I'm not going alone, right? If I'm going with my wife, my kid, whatever, right? Well, they don't necessarily speak those other languages. It would be an easy assimilation in a place like Australia. Just keep in mind that everything in Australia wants to kill you.
Yes,
you got to remember that.
And
spiders, snakes, you get used to that part.
Do you? What reaction do you have when? While it's completely their right to do it, but when Alec Baldwin or Ellen or Jimmy Kimmel says, I'm leaving the country, do you roll your eyes? Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they got nothing to risk. You're already wealthy enough to cover the rest of your life. You have no risk.
Yeah,
For a lot of people, that's a huge risk.
And if you want to visit the U.S., you can get on a plane like nothing to you and fly back and forth anytime you want, as much as you want.
And
whereas
spend months and months on end here if you wanted to.
Yeah. Whereas for other people, that's like, I can only afford to fly to the U.S. once every 10 years because it's a $3,000 flight or whatever.
Yeah. I think it's a huge difference when you have life-changing money to make that call. It's a lot easier when you're doing it that way. Because I mean, think about it. If I were going to take that step and go anywhere of those places, any of the places that would be alternatives, you're basically cutting ties with everybody you know.
Because all of those people that we mentioned, if they wanted to, could insulate themselves from America in America.
Sure.
You know. Man, I
And
understand.
they can
like,
live exactly where they want, where the policies will fit exactly what their
I
desires
understand,
are.
like the protest thing, like I hate Trump and I'm going to move and that'll show him and everything's going to change.
Right.
But the way you live, you can just build a compound and live exactly
And
like
live
you want.
where you want, right? If you want to be in the big red state, well, you can be there.
Yeah.
And if you want to be in a big blue state, you can be there too. And you have the means to afford whatever that costs. I agree with you. I think that's just, I'm not saying don't do it. You're free to do what you want, but it's not any kind of bold move. It's when you've got blank you money, you're just using it.
Yeah, I do wonder who, reads the headline and is like, oh my gosh, we lost Ellen.
Yeah.
This has gone too far. We have to stop all of this right now.
No.
I think in general, it's like, all right, go ahead and move. Like, have fun.
Yeah, I don't hang out with Ellen. It doesn't affect me if Ellen doesn't live in
Right,
America.
I don't care.
What do you guys think is going on with Trump lowering the designation for pot federally?
So he had a huge fundraising event with some people who have an interest in. I should pull up the story so I can speak on it a little more intelligently. But basically, he's made some connections. There was like $1 million donation to one of his PACs. And now he's saying like, yeah, maybe we'll make it a class 3 instead of what is it, class 1 right now?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think it's just the classic, like he's meeting people who's like him and they're telling him it's a good idea. I believe these are people who have also worked with like the Biden administration. They just keep pushing forward to make this less of a big deal to get caught with marijuana nationwide.
So it would make it less of a crime.
Yes. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the way it should be, especially with the legalization in so many states.
We're in a
to have it be federally illegal is weird.
Yeah, it's in a weird place because I can go out the door here, drive about a quarter mile, and buy, I think, pretty much anything I want when it comes to cannabis, and perfectly fine. Get pulled over by the cop and be like, "Yep, I'm going to use this when I get home." Okay, have a good time. Yet federally, it's a crime, which I don't understand exactly. I mean, I understand the difference between state and federal, but I don't understand when you would get in trouble and when you wouldn't.
Same.
So-
I have absolutely no idea.
And none of it makes any sense to me. Why? I know you guys, when I asked that yesterday, they're like morals. Well, it's all those people live in all those states that have marijuana legalized. So if they're all so against it, then why do they keep losing? And if they're losing, isn't it a majority rule country? Like when things like that, it gets put on a ballot, what happens? People vote for it. That means all the people that are against it still have that opportunity to vote against it, lobby against it, do whatever they want, but they're losing. So why does a small number of people who object on moral grounds get to object? Why should your moral standards apply to anyone else but you and your family?
Do you personally draw a line anywhere? Like, do you say pot's okay, cocaine needs to be illegal?
Yeah, I think it's just more about the damage done by the particular substance, right? I mean, how much does it do to the body and how much does it take you out of your normal senses? Because again, I would say based on observations, not a lot of experience, but observations and knowing a lot, there's not much difference between the way marijuana makes people act and the way alcohol makes people act. And I've seen way more angry drunks than I've seen angry potheads. I mean, like alcohol, and those two are comparable. But except one will also have much more physical damage to your body. We know this. And yet that one's perfectly okay. And all the teetotalers and all the morals people are perfectly fine with booze being everywhere. So why are we holding up on this one thing? And again, I understand there are good lines. And I'd say that we let doctors like draw those lines. Okay, this is what this does to your body. This is why this, and that's basically what the schedule stuff is, right? Something aspirin is no big deal. But anything with codeine in it's going to be a little more of a big deal because it's got addictive properties. It can lust to other. So we've already kind of established this structure. But one of the things that gets treated like the really bad things really isn't. And how many states is it legal in now? Is it 35?
I think it's the majority. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, and conservative states too, not just the blue states. So what's the holdup on the federal? Is it simply because people in Congress just
probably
don't want to take action on it for whatever their reasons are?
Big Blonde Dan brings up a great point. He says, I'm not a pot user, but I always thought it was bizarre. Marijuana was on the same level as heroin, LSD, meth. Those are all Schedule 1.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to come out here and be like, marijuana has never hurt anyone.
No, of course it has.
Of course it has. There are people who struggle with addiction to marijuana.
Sure.
But you could be addicted to many things.
Beer.
You know? Yeah, exactly.
And we celebrate beer, which is, again, totally fine. I don't care. I'm not anti-alcohol or anti-beer. But is there anything that gets celebrated much more in terms of food and drink in this country than beer? I see a lot of commercials. They make it seem really fun. And it is. It's not lying.
Calling all future sportscasters. Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum, Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros. Just $10 for students, lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. Registered by September 2nd at Missouri Broadcasters.org.
It's the annual KMOX Blood Drive with the American Red Cross, August 21st from 2 to 7 at multiple locations. Everyone who attempts to donate receives a $15 e-gift card. Make an appointment in the Red Cross Blood Donor app or at redcrossblood.org and enter KMOX for a drive near you.
So I remember it was the day after Christmas when Nick was about 15 years old, and he woke me up at about 2 in the morning. My stomach hurts. Let's take some Pepto-Bismol. A couple hours later, my stomach still hurts. We went to the ER. He had an appendicitis, had to have surgery. And at that moment, everything stopped. Nothing mattered to me at all other than my child was, in need of surgery. The simplest kind of surgery, nothing like orthopedic, but still let your child going under general anesthetic. So if your child should go down during a soccer game and be uncontrollably crying because they may have ripped an ACL or an MCL, or it could be you. If you need a really great orthopedic surgeon who's also a really great person, which matters, if you haven't met a surgeon that doesn't have the God complex, you need to meet more surgeons because it's pretty prevalent out there. Corey's very cool. A little bit of a goofball even. He's like a funny, affable guy. He's going to make you feel comfortable. Not a goofball in the OR. Really, really great surgeon. He is with the Midwest Orthopedic and Spine Specialist. You can call him at 636-231-5881 or Solman, that's SOLMAN, SolmanOrthopedics.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
When my wife and I got married after both graduating law school, we didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. Ultima had to give me her gas card just to drive home. We never could have imagined that one day we would have the largest injury firm in the world and $25 billion in money collected and counting. As good Catholics, we had 4 children fast. They all work in the firm today. Our family protecting yours. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, but our greatest gift was years away, grandchildren. Today we have 6 and counting. It's the greatest joy that we have ever experienced. I think about them all day long. Our family promises to protect your family should you need us. Call us. It's easy. Visit forthepeople.com. and make sure you hug your grandchildren. God's final gift to us. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. Coming up at the top of the hour, we have Qui Tran, who is the owner of Noodle House in Miley. Going to be joining us live in studio, kind of hear his story, talk about, his arc and what he's been through, and talk about the restaurants. That's coming up live at 2 p.m. So, Rach, you ran into a jerk at Schnucks this morning?
I did, as I referenced in my Schnucks Live about 15 minutes ago. Went this morning, just picked up a couple of little drinks, and I'm going through the self-checkout, and I hear this very angry man next to me say, well, if you guys had checkers, this wouldn't be a problem. So I'm able to deduce, okay, he's having a problem with the self-checkout. The very nice woman who is overseeing the self-checkout is helping him. And she just kind of finishes up and she's like, yeah, we actually do have checkers, because they do. You can go stand in line and wait. He made the choice to go through self-checkout, and he was just so mean and so nasty. And for a second, I considered being like, hey, man, what do you want her to do about it? Like, do you think she, first of all, makes any kind of decision as far as the staffing?
She's the one.
Schnucks? No.
Yeah.
Also, there are plenty of checkers available for you that you could go use their services right now. You chose to come through self-checkout because generally it's less busy. So, that's a choice you made. Like, I wanted to say something to him, but I've done that on so many occasions, like when people have been being rude at like a food counter or something. And I always wonder, like, man, did the person that I'm trying to help out even really appreciate it? Or am I just making it more awkward? So instead, I just kept my mouth shut. I made eye contact with the nice lady and smiled and told her, have a great day, just to kind of be like, hey, we're not all mean. And left after that. But I don't know what I guess I'm wondering what Wheels would have done in that same situation.
Depends on the level of hostility detected.
He was
if he's
way
just,
too
if
rude.
he's just grumbling, I'll leave him alone.
No,
But,
he was loud. He
like
was mean.
if you're berating someone that doesn't need it, I've spoken up many times on that. Just first is just be loud as they are and say easy.
Yeah.
Just start simple. You don't have to start yelling at them. Just like, hey, take it easy. That's it.
Jerks get away with it way too often.
Yeah, because most of the time that little, hey man, take it easy.
Yeah,
that calms everything down. Not always.
They're just not called on it much.
No.
I love videos where people get their comeuppance.
Yeah.
When someone's like the one we talked about where the guy's bullying a young black kid and he's like, I'm going to kick your ass. And the kid's like, let's go right now.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
He throws
and
his bag down and goes, I want this. Let's go.
Wussied out on him.
Yeah. It's a big dude. He looked like he was maybe 50.
Yeah.
And he was talking all kinds of smack. And the kid looked like he's maybe 19.
Yeah.
And as soon as he said, yep, let's go, and got into a fighting stance, the other guy's like, well, wait a minute. Yeah. Wait, so what you want to do is you want to throw your weight around and you want to make yourself feel strong. But then the minute somebody's going to stand up to you and say, hey, calm down, buddy.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, let's go. Let's go right now. You stop talking. Let's go.
Well, you bring up an interesting point, both of you, because I also had a moment of like, man, do I even want to say something to him? Because how bad is this guy's day that this is like how he's approaching this kind of situation? How terrible is your life right now that you're taking it out on this poor lady who works?
I'll tell you this. I've never known a person who was nice, who was having a terrible moment like this guy was having at Schnucks, who didn't immediately apologize for it.
Yeah.
You with me?
Once you get called on it or
I
whatever,
don't think I would ever get to that level with someone. Like, I can't, but why don't you have checkers and all that? But if I did, I know I would immediately apologize.
So you would feel shame.
Yes. I wouldn't walk out of there and get in my car and drive away.
But that is, yeah. And that's partly why it's important, again, for people that are comfortable. Not everybody
which leads me to believe that they aren't good. They aren't nice people.
Generally,
the people who are doing that all the time.
Yeah.
In their life. And having just traveled by air, I saw a few examples of that. And you just knew You just knew that the guy who was grumbling coming through TSA was grumbling on his way here.
Yeah.
And he'll be grumbling when he gets to his destination. That's just what he is.
But that's also like you having a bad day doesn't mean you get to give that to someone else.
No.
So you can be having a bad day, but if you catch it, again, the last thing you want to do is go in hot and like try to escalate, right? That's not really what you're trying to do. You're just trying to get the attention of the person and let them know that other people are seeing them be jerky.
And especially,
and hope they wake up.
Like Rach said, read the room. Go talk to Mr. Schnook if you
Right.
really want to have some impact.
Yeah. Right.
Go talk to Mr. Deerberg. The lady who's trying to help you get through the self-checkout has no say-so
And
in
also,
what they do.
100% user error if you're going through the self-checkout and it's going not going well.
I mean,
all right, maybe not
yes.
100%, but 95%.
Yes.
I'm
It's
smart enough
user
to
error.
not go through it.
I mean, it's a touch screen. It's not that hard. And I've had problems where sometimes you'll ring something up and then you put it over where you're supposed to. And then it goes, call the attendant. We don't like this because it reads the weight wrong or whatever. That happens. That happens sometimes. But more often than not, it's something I did wrong. And then they fix it. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah. Tell you guys about the Gelman team. Speaking of friendly, the Gelman team are great. When I've done a few real estate transactions with the Gelman team, and when I am in that position, because I'm making a huge purchase, right, or I'm selling something, I want excellent customer service. I want as little work on my part as possible. I'm giving you a pretty big chunk of this sale. You need to earn it. You don't need to give me a punch list of stuff I need to do. You help me do it, or you do it, or you tell me who can do it. The Gelmans are great at that. You're going to know exactly where you stand with them all the time. They don't expect you to sign the contract the first time you meet. They're going to convince you that they are the right people for you in person. Hopefully, I convince you enough that you reach out to them, see what they think your house is worth, maybe have a meeting with them, have them out to the house. But your decision is your decision. And if they don't compel you, go with somebody else. I've been with them for years and years and years. Like I said, I've used them several times. 314-336-1991 to find out what we think your house is worth right now online. Go to the front page of thegelmanteam.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Tom Ackerman for Busey Bank and Building Community. We are proud to recognize Doorways as a building community partner. Doorways helps those who are invisible and ignored by society, people navigating poverty, homelessness, and serious illnesses like HIV. While HIV has become treatable, the number of cases continues to rise in the disenfranchised community. Building community means nobody should be invisible. Learn more about Doorways at doorwayshousing.org.
This is Pat Buring, Executive Vice President of Busey Bank. I'm so proud to recognize Doorways, the only agency in the region dedicated to providing housing to individuals living with HIV and their family members. Doorways sees to it that clients receive on-site services to manage their lives, opening doorways to independence and opportunity. That's what building community is all about. Join Busey. Get involved as we continue building the communities we call home.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-311-9595. That's 800-311-9595.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Summer is here. Time to enjoy baseball, barbecues, and the shade of your trees. When it comes to tree care, call the certified arborist at at Gamma Tree Experts. Hi, I'm Tim Gamma. Protect your valuable trees from storm damage or devastating insects such as the emerald ash borer. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. For pruning, spraying, fertilization, or removals, call Gamma Tree Experts today at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
Hello, I'm Missouri State Treasurer Vivek Malik. August 14th is National Able Savings Day, a time to highlight how ABLE accounts empower individuals with disabilities. Our More ABLE program helps Missourians save for everyday needs without losing public benefits. To celebrate, we are offering a $25 match for anyone who opens a new account in August. Earnings grow tax-free and contributions qualify for a state tax reduction. Let's help more Missourians build financial independence. Learn more at moable.com.
Paid for by the Missouri State Treasurer's Office.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It is 2 o'clock in mid-America. We've got a thunderstorm. It's 89 degrees downtown at the Arch. State Senator Brian Williams is running to be the Democratic nominee for St. Louis County Executive, but is the man who's currently in the job, Sam Page, going to run for re-election? Let's go live to the newsroom. We asked him that question. Here's Sean Malone.
Hey, Michael, after being indicted for allegedly using taxpayer dollars for an improper campaign mailer against Proposition B, I asked the county executive if he plans to run again.
Are you still running for re-election?
We'll make that decision at the end of the year.
So you haven't decided yet?
Well, you know, you always keep your options open, but I'll decide. I'll make a formal announcement by the end of the year.
I asked about the accusations against him. Page says he does not believe he has done anything wrong. At least 2 of his fellow Democrats on the St. Louis County Council have called for him to resign. Live in the newsroom, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
It's still not known what caused the explosion at the Pennsylvania steel plant yesterday that killed 2 people.
This is an extraordinarily difficult day.
David Burt is the CEO of U.S. Steel.
We have suffered heartbreaking losses.
While they're still trying to determine the cause of the blast, Governor Josh Shapiro says U.S. Steel is committed
Getting to the bottom of what occurred.
and making sure the plant is safe and the community is protected going forward. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
People are apparently still breaking into the long-shuttered Millennium Hotel downtown. Thomas Robinson was having dinner last weekend nearby. When he tells Fox 2, he looked over and saw people sitting on the abandoned tower's rooftop.
I see these 3 guys up there in like a triangular form. And first I was tripping off of it because I thought my eyes were seeing stuff. I had a few drinks. But then after I start seeing them moving around, like one went left, one went right, and the other just stayed at the top position. So that's when I whipped out my camera and I started recording it.
I'm Maria Aquino. One of those break-ins resulted in an arrest this morning, but this is by far not the only problem. St. Louis police have responded to 54 calls at the Millennium between last August and today. They range from arsons, disturbances, prowlers, and calls for help. Police tell KMOX they have and continue to have multiple conversations with property representatives, yet those representatives have made no effort to secure the abandoned hotel. KMOX was told by police they do not have the answers to our question whether or not they can compel Millennium representatives to secure the property.
It was a come-from-behind win for the Cards last night. Here's the voice of the Cardinals, John Rooney, on KMOX.
Light up the night in downtown St. Louis on Brendan Donovan's pinch double, driving in 2 in the bottom of the 8th. The Cardinals came back to beat the Rockies 3-2.
Miles Michaelis was stellar, pitching into the 7th. The Cards go into tonight's game against the Rockies, winning 6 out of the last 10. First pitch tonight is set for 6:45 right here. A warning from the old school company Kodak that it might not be around for much longer.
Kodak has been around for 133 years.
Keep your camera ready with new Kodak Gold Plus film.
But the photography company is warning investors that it may not be able to survive. It says it does not have the money to pay about $500 million in upcoming debt obligations. Known for its cameras and film, the orange throwaways were a staple at weddings and gatherings at one point, but Kodak failed to capitalize on the rise of digital technology. And now nearly everyone has a camera in their phone. Matt Piper, CBS News.
The Dow from Stifel's up 445 points to 44,420. There's a crash on 141 going south at Astra Way. That's got the right shoulder closed. There's a crash there. MoDOT also says there's been road work there. That's not good. 141 south at Astra Way. That road work had the right lane closed. And some more road work on 70 west at I-170. That's got the left lane closed.
It's the middle of August. It feels like it, but boy, by our standards, it is nothing extreme. We can certainly deal with this. Partly sunny skies. Let's keep an eye out for a couple of scattered thunderstorms, some with downpours and lightning, though that's not for everybody. Only 92 for the high. We can certainly live with that. Tonight, partly cloudy, a couple of thunderstorms scattered about 73. Wednesday, partly sunny, couple of thunderstorms 90. 92 on Thursday, but upper 90s are back Friday and this upcoming weekend. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Taking a live look at the radar, the heaviest rain right now is over downtown St. Louis. It's an arc stretching from Dupo through Cahokia Sauget downtown into Brooklyn, Venice, and to Granite City. There's also another cell that is stretching across from Grafton to Portage de Sioux into Old Jamestown, just to the north of Florissant. We've got a thunderstorm downtown. It's 89 degrees. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Happy Tuesday. We have a pretty good rainstorm outside the KMOX window there. Kind of nice. Very August.
Yeah,
Very
looked
Florida,
on
where I just came back from.
Use the weather spotter skills to look at the app. It's a little tiny thing. It goes away.
You don't miss a
No,
time.
I'm going to
being
flex
a
on that
weather
every
spotter.
time, man.
It's
an important part of his life.
Yeah.
Well, it's the only thing you flex about,
I
which
know.
is weird.
Yeah.
You
I'm
have so
saving it.
many impressive things that you're always like, I'm a weather spotter. I don't know if you guys knew this or not. I know what a nimbulocumulus cloud
I've also never used it once in real life.
You've never called in?
I have never called in.
You could do some great pranking.
Yeah, could probably do that, but that's not the way it's supposed to be. I can prank Dave Murray.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
Probably a bad idea.
Live in studio, we have Quy Tran, who is the owner of Nudo House in Mai Lee, and it's a pleasure to meet you. We have a lot of mutual friends. Everyone talk really highly of you. You should know that.
Well, I appreciate being on here and appreciate you having me on. And I appreciate coming on right after the Tom Petty intro.
Yeah.
That's kinda...
Yeah. So you have an interesting story. I know a little bit of it, but for people who are just learning about you, tell them your story. I think it's interesting.
I mean, it's the typical American story, right? It's the modern day Ellis Island, right?
Yeah.
It's just the country's built on immigration, and we just happen to be a different generation of immigrants. And my dad was a colonel, South Vietnamese Army, fought along the Americans, and we immigrate. We seeked asylum back in '78. We came here in 1980 and been in St. Louis since 1980. So I haven't looked back since.
Yeah. And you were pretty small when you guys came, right?
Yeah, I was 3 when we came here. And, I think my brain is still at 3 years old. But,
Yeah.
if
Any
I was any
snapshots
smarter,
of your life before? Anything
you
still
know,
there?
I'm really glad I didn't remember the journey. It's a lot of craziness going on, a lot of death, a lot of illness. It's a tough time. War is usually war is not a good time. And, the things that they told me, what they saw in the refugee camps, it's just the journey, that kind of journey to leave everything behind and jump on. You can't even say he jumped on a boat because they jumped on a raft.
Wow.
With a, 1-year-old kid and just somehow made it to shore somewhere.
Wow.
And, we're grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be alive and be here with you guys.
Yeah. Not to turn this into anything political, but Rach, you've made a comment like this before. I was born here, and so I'm an American and I'm proud of it. But when people come here, I feel like they have a little more buy-in. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, because it's not just like you're here by default.
Right.
Like
I had no choice in the matter.
Right.
Just happened, Tell me about your parents.
So, no one had more than a 5th grade education during that time. You couldn't afford an education. And, during that time it was rough, right? Vietnam there was a lot of, there was the French there, us there, also fighting Russia and China, which, someone that we don't have to get into history, but someone that was a CIA trained by us who, got mad at us and then ended up aligning with, China and Russia, and then the war happened. So it's, unfortunately, war is one of the worst things, and it's always the poor that suffer the most. And, the wealthy gain the most during war. And so, I'm always, thinking of things like that and kind of like my history. You should always think before you put other people's lives at risk to, for an agenda, and, a lot of times we get it. Like if you're fighting like, authoritarians or people that are committing genocide or, we get it. Right. Sometimes you can't talk to everybody. Sometimes people need a smack upside the head.
There you go.
And, but also it's a very delicate matter. And it's just something that we should always take into account with everything involved, know? And so, I know what it's like, and, you're right. I think, America is an idea, right? It's not so much, I think the culture of America is America is built on immigrants, right? The Irish, the Jewish, the Italians, the Germans, the Chinese. So I think America to me is a culture, and it's a culture that involves a lot of different heritages, so that's kind of like, and if you believe in, it's like, I love my wife, I believe in her, and I'm confident and secure enough to know that, she's not going to sway and go somewhere else. So I think that if we believe in the American idea, that we should be secure enough that people like myself and my family will become Americans, love the country, and and that's what it's about, and that's what it's always been about, and that's why it's it's okay to hang your Irish heritage flag and also be American. It should, an Italian flag. I mean, it should be that way across the board, and that's what the country's about, and that's kind of like how I grew up, and that's how I've always felt.
Couldn't agree more. And really, if aliens came down and they're like, okay, tell me about Australia, tell me about Canada, tell me about the United States, to me, our story would be the most impressive. Like, we have people from all over the world who've come here and become one people. Like, that's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, I mean, Ronald Reagan said it before he left office, right? He said that we're the only nation that anyone can come and be American. Sometimes, and I remember that growing up watching that speech, because obviously Jimmy Carter started the bill to allow the refugees to, and obviously he lost to Ronald Reagan, and so Ronald Reagan ended up signing the bill that was started by Jimmy Carter to allow the refugees in, and so that's I think I hope we get back to that part of our humanity, that people, if we believe in America this much, that people will come and people will become Americans. It's the idea of America. America is an idea, and we're the youngest country, and you've seen what we become and how we got here. And so I hope we continue that, and reach out and talk to people more, and just kind of, we all want the same things. And so that's just something that I hope, kindness and empathy.
Yeah.
We have more of that moving forward.
Yeah, I wrote down my show sheet. I just got back from vacation, and one of the first things I wrote down was, I wish we had a gentler nation. Like, right? Like, just take it easy. Just settle down. And I'm older than you, but we're close enough in age. You remember before. It wasn't like this.
Right. I remember. I think, and I think that's my suggestion to the country. I think everybody just needs to sit down and have a bowl of pho. That usually helps.
Can't hurt.
It's never gone wrong for me.
Yeah,
me neither.
I've never gotten mad. Not a single time.
I think if you're left or right or whatever, if you sit down and have a bowl of pho, you have some common ground. I think, like I said, it doesn't matter where you go, but all of a sudden I'm coming in right after Tom Petty. It makes me pretty happy.
There you
know
go.
what I mean?
If you're wondering who this smart guy is, it's Chef Kui from Nudo House in Miley. I found a quote from you that American food is immigrant food. Talk to me about that, apropos of your restaurants.
Well, if you really think about it, what is American cuisine? American cuisine is world cuisine, right? Because, it's if you look at like Italian food, for example, right? So during World War II, because America took the most Italian immigrants in, and then Argentina was the second, right? And so Argentina has its own style of pizza, has its own style of Italian food, and so do we, because in Italy, they don't eat meatballs inside of their spaghetti.
Right.
But you know what? We had to do this to make it quick, so we put meatballs inside of our spaghetti, and that's a very American thing. Same with cioppino, right? The fishermen in San Francisco, that's why they call it fisherman's stew. But it was just something that, well, we whipped up, and there's really no such thing as cioppino in Italy. That's a very American thing. And so our food here is very, it's international. American food is immigrant food, and so it's just like the Chinese food here. Is there beef and broccoli in China? I don't think so. So it becomes the beautiful thing right now is like you, Kel, right? Everywhere I go, like we were fortunate enough to make the cover of Food and Wine magazine in 2018. And it wasn't so much that I was proud that it was me. I was proud that the February issue of 2018 was, the cover said American comfort food.
Mm-hmm.
And what was on that cover was a bowl of pho. And a bowl of pho is of Vietnamese heritage. But guess what? I'm an American. I'm cooking it here. So now that becomes part of our American heritage, And so that's the beautiful thing about food. Food talks, food and music, same situation, comes from a tragedy. It comes from someone's pain, and that we create these things through it. And so, part of the reason I love Italian food is because I grew up half of my time as a child on the Hill and the other half in Laclede. So if you guys know, it's two totally different dynamics, but food helped me. Like as I was walking around the Hill, I was like, oh, look, it's a cured meat. We also have this, we have this, we make sausages too. So we have this. So that familiarity kind of helped me kind of be like, oh, okay, kind of understand the world a little better. And during the war, I'm a huge rock fan. So during the war, when we came to the States, all I was listening to was Led Zeppelin, Scorpion, I was listening to all this rock, the Eagles. So I was listening to all this rock. I didn't really understand it till about the second grade. But, basically, food, rock and roll, and Sesame Street helped me learn English. So
interesting. Do you still speak Vietnamese?
I speak fluent, yes.
Yeah. Have you been back?
The last time I was back in Vietnam was 1997.
Wow.
Wow, that's wild.
And the craziest thing is it was like the movies, right? Because it was like 20, you watch a scene and then it goes 20 years later. And so literally it was 20 years later. And a lot of people don't know, but my father, he lived with the communists for like a year after the war ended because he could fake a Northern dialect. So basically he was basically a spy doing intelligence. And so when they figured out who the hell he was, we had to
get out.
There's
had to move.
Either you die there or you die trying to go somewhere. And so, that's kind of like our story. And it was kind of scary because that time my mother was like, she was very nervous that if they still had records or something, they figured out who he was, then maybe, he might be detained. He might be, because, my grandfather was locked up in a camp for 10 years by the communists as well. And so, it was a very scary time, but luckily, it's a very different country now. And, it's always like if you go somewhere, regardless of how you feel about the politics of the country, the people, they're completely different, and so it's like you have friends here, you have Americans here of Iranian descent, they give you stories of Iran and you're like, this is completely different than what, you know what I mean? And so it's always unfortunately the people suffer through the politics of certain countries. But
remember back in 1979 when I was 15 and the Iranian hostage situation was going on, and now I've become really good friends with one of the guys who was a hostage. And I was just a kid back then, but my parents were all into it. My two best friends were Iranian exchange students, so I got to know them, and I got to know Iran through them, and that was so textured. As opposed to just like, oh, we friggin' hate Iranians, and and they took so much crap, Just,
Sure.
oh my gosh, just walking through the school was terrible. Can you hang out one more?
Yeah, of course.
All right, we're here with Chef Kui from Nudo House in Miley. Quick break, right back. DGS.
Hey friends, I'm Sharon McMahon, host of Here's Where It Gets Interesting. Each week I speak with authors, experts, and thought leaders on everything from American history and democracy to how to be a better person on the internet. And don't miss my extremely popular docuseries, which educate you on things you never learned in history class. Follow and listen to Here's Where It Gets Interesting on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
If you're still waiting for a sign, here's another one. At California Psychics, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work for us. So we only connect you with the best. That's how we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. Dramatic sound effect incoming. Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
So let me bottom line Dr. Kathy Maupin and BioBalance Health for you. If you would like to feel better sexually, physically, mentally, emotionally, sleep-wise, just everything, for a little bit of money and a little bit of, medical procedure, you can feel 10 to 20 years younger. You can look younger, and I don't want to oversell it. It's not a panacea. It's not snake oil. I've been doing the testosterone pellets for 6 years now, and it's really worked for me. And I've talked to lots of people from the show who come up to me at QT or a band gig and tell me about it. And then next door is BioBalance Skin. Everything they do there works. Everything they do there is justifiable. Everything they do there is very conservative and artistic. No one leaves there with a clown face, because that makes them look bad, makes us look bad too. So if you want to look better and feel better, just check it out online at biobalancehealth.com.
Hey, it's Debbie Monterey, and between now and the end of the summer, chances are that you or someone you know is in the market to buy or sell a home. And like me, you probably know a few realtors. Well, yeah, I know several as well, but when someone I know needs to sell their home, I always recommend Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. I've been telling you about Gloria for years now, and here's why you should call, because no matter what the market does, Gloria Liu will guarantee upfront and in writing to sell your home at 100% of market value, or Gloria will pay you the difference.
St. Louis home sellers, if you're looking for certainty and the most money guaranteed for the sale of your home, call me, Gloria Liu. My name is My Promise, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Call me directly at 314-325-6888 or visit me online at GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
This segment, Cancer Center Spotlight, how innovative immunotherapy is showing promise against aggressive T-cell cancers. Dr. John DePercio.
Patients have come here from all over the United States and, in fact, all over the world to get evaluated and treated for this treatment. We hope that this can be continued, that we demonstrate in a clinical trial that it's safe and effective, and that ultimately it will be approved by the FDA so it's available to everyone in the world.
For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
KMOX is everywhere. 1120 AM. Streaming live on the Odyssey app. And now at 104.1 FM.
Welcome back, guys. DGS and KMOX. Live in studio, we have Chef Kui, owner of Noodle House in My Lee. Been talking a lot about life and politics and world history. Let's talk about food. Let's talk about the restaurants. So you literally grew up in this.
You know what? There was I had no choice. I think I came out of the womb with the dish rag. So I think that's maybe a dish rag in one hand and a walk spoon in the other hand.
What are your earliest memories of it?
It's crazy, right? We talk about the country and we talk about what can happen here, and it's just crazy to think that my parents started a business without even knowing how to speak English.
Yeah, that's impossible.
It's crazy. And then I, at 8 years old, really started to. I should have never passed kindergarten or the first grade. I think they just felt sorry for me, just passed me, because I really didn't really grasp the English language towards like the second grade.
Yeah.
And I remember at 8 years old, it was just basically, hey, can you try to translate as much as possible? So I think, I really didn't like the restaurant business growing up, just because I never had a life.
I got you. Yeah.
I never had a life. Everything was work. Everything was, oh, look, Mom, I made the JV football team. Who cares?
You
the dishwasher quit. Yeah, it's like, we need you to wipe tables.
Yeah.
So it was, but I think that it helped me. There's things that you can't teach. And I think, part of it was really how to communicate, really understanding human nature and how to communicate with people, deal with just all walks of life. And I mean, the people you meet, I've been so fortunate to meet so many great people. And that's something that I don't regret, and that's something I'm very grateful for.
Yeah. So for people who Vietnamese food is not monolithic, yours is different from other places, but if they've not tried it, how would you describe it?
I think it's funny, because I always tell people, I say, it's like if you go to New Orleans, right? The food there consists of, Cajun, Creole. So you have, your Southern food, and then you have the African slaves that have injected, their food into it. And Vietnamese food, I always tell people, I said, there's a lot of familiarity, because the French occupation brought so many different things, like pho, for example, which is hugely popular. So it's there's different variations, obviously the North and the South pho, but Southern pho is made with strictly beef bones and beef broth. And so, but the ancestral dish to that is pot-au-feu, which is a French stew, basically a French, that consists of like carrots and potatoes. So we just basically took it and we just create our own. And, we have what's called like banh mi, right? So we have a sandwich. So no other Asian country makes an actual sandwich. So we actually make a baguette, because of the French. So, but like other Southeast Asian cuisine, like Thai cuisine, like, so like many other Southeast Asian cuisines, the flavors are very familiar to Southeast Asian flavors. So basically, I always tell people, when you eat Vietnamese food, there's always, it hits every note. So, you got the salt, you got the sweet, you got the tart, and you got the spice. And so it's a very well-rounded cuisine. And I always tell people, I said, listen, we make beef just like we make shrimp. It's just a different variation of it. So, and then we also use butter on certain things too. And that's because of the French, and a lot of Asian countries do not, and so I always tell them that it's going to hit every note. And don't be afraid. Just jump in the pool. We got lifeguards. Don't worry.
Yeah, nice.
Jump in the pool. We got lifeguards everywhere.
What food, I started to say American food, but what food here in America did you love as a kid?
Well, growing up on the hill, like I love Italian food, just because obviously at the time for me, it was very familiar. Oh, look, there's noodles. So pasta, you know what I mean? So, oh, there's red sauce. We use a lot of tomatoes in Southeast Asian cooking, and so it's like, oh, so for me, I really loved Italian food, like, because you can cook Italian food the way you cook Asian food, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, throw it in, now pop, and so it was very homey to me. And now, obviously, as you get older and as you experience the world a little bit more, I mean, I love all cuisines. Like, there's not a cuisine that I don't love and want to explore, because I can really feel someone's culture in that food. And so it opens you up. That's what Anthony Bourdain said. It's like, get a cold beer, go sit by yourself at the bar, go eat this. So he, someone like him was so important because it made the world so much smaller. It made us less scared.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing to be fearful of.
Yeah. That's great. That's Chef Kui from Nudo House in Miley. Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
At 5, when others are running out of steam, the Redbird Rush Hour hits the gas. Kevin Wheeler, Matt Pauley, and Bernie Miklasz bring sharp analysis, fresh insight, and no recycled takes. Real baseball talk for fans who know the game. Redbird Rush Hour, weekdays at 5 on 104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of St. Louis, the unrivaled voice of baseball.
When we started Neovitin back in 2009, we wanted to create a multivitamin that we would take ourselves. That's why we use quality ingredients in our Neovitin Original Formula multivitamin. With over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our physician-formulated proprietary blend, you can be sure you are getting the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neovitin Original Formula multivitamin a try for yourself. Find it at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Dave Murray's weather forecast is sponsored by Anderson Hospital.
It's the middle of August. It feels like it, but boy, by our standards, it is nothing extreme. We can certainly deal with this. Partly sunny skies. Let's keep an eye out for a couple of scattered thunderstorms, some with downpours and lightning, though that's not for everybody. Only 92 for the high. We can certainly live with that. Tonight, partly cloudy, a couple of thunderstorms scattered about 73. Wednesday, partly sunny, couple of thunderstorms 90. 92 on Thursday, but upper 90s are back Friday and this upcoming weekend. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Serving the Metro East region with excellence, Anderson Hospital is proud to be named one of Newsweek's World's Best Hospitals for 2025. Experience world-class care close to home. AndersonHospital.org.
If you need to sell your home to buy a new home, it's never been more important to have an experienced negotiator you can trust. You need my friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty on your side, fighting for every dollar for you. Check out thegelmanteam.com. That's thegelmanteam.com.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Man, it is storming outside the KMOX window, just whipping, and the rain and the wind and the trees all sideways and stuff. Makes you think about your house is just a unit of parts. that protects you from weather like this. And a big part of that are your windows. Your windows, they do a lot of heavy lifting, right? They keep the cool air in with your very expensive HVAC system. They keep the warm air in during the winter. They beautify your home. They protect you from prowlers. Like they do a lot of heavy lifting. When the time comes, however it happens, when you find out that you need new replacement windows, all I ask is that you get a bid from my company, Universal Windows Direct. We have a great deal going on right now. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. There's no limit. If you need 8 windows, you're going to pay for 4. You get the idea. You're smart. Also, you can get no interest for 5 whole years. Let that sink in. 0% interest for 5 years. Great company, great product. I love the fact that the only people they ever talk about are the people who make the windows and the people who install the windows. Locally, call 314-334-2522 or universalwindowsdirect.com.
Today, the Cards, the Rockies. Ameren Total Access 550. Cardinals Radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Our conversation with Scott Terry is brought to you by Goodwill. Give hope, give local, give Goodwill.
Welcome back, guys. DJS on KMOX. Ricky Horton is taking a little bit of time off. Scott Terry, former Cardinal pitcher and friend of the show, is filling in. Scott, thank you. Great to talk to you again.
Hey, for me to fill in for Ricky Horton, what an honor and a privilege. But not only that, to be on the Dave Glover show. Are you kidding me?
It's a twofer, man.
Scott, is this your first
I'm
career
telling
pinch hitting
you, boy,
performance?
Yeah, Scott's first.
No,
pinch
you
hitting.
know better than that, Kevin. You know back in the day, I actually got to pinch hit a little bit.
Yeah. Yep, I've heard the
I
stories.
was one of those pitchers that could actually hit on occasion.
Do you miss that about the game, Scott? Like, are you acceptor of the DH and it's all good?
I mean, I'm an acceptor of it. It's going to be what it is. I understand the benefit of it. But to play the game the way that we played it with the pitcher, a lot more strategizing, you had to use a lot more bench players, and the idea that a pitcher can actually help himself on occasion. We had one of the better hitters when I played in Bob Forsch. Yeah. And so we had some guys that could do a little bit of damage and that could certainly move runners over. And it just created a different style of play.
Boy, I know it's the same game. I just finished watching the first time the Ken Burns baseball doc. I know it's the same game that's been played all this time, but your era, which is my era of fandom, it seems so different than today. Is it that much different to you, Scott?
Yeah, I think it is. Just the whole idea, the preparation, the aspect of the game from a strategy standpoint, the criteria of the players and what you're looking for and what you're asking them to do in certain situations. Even the language of it has changed a lot. So it is a different game. We know the fundamentals. You got to hit it. You got to catch it. You got to throw it. You got to run. We know those will always be in place, but a lot of the other aspects of it have changed.
So all the analytics we have now, and especially, with pitching, do you wish you would have had that back in your day, or do you kind of roll your eyes at it a little bit?
Well, I think we had it to a certain degree, but not near to the detail or the technology of it. I mean, I used to keep a book, so I knew what Bip Roberts, as an example, did against me, the leadoff hitter for San Diego. I knew what he did every at-bat. I knew what the count was when I hit, what he hit and where he hit it, and I did that on my own. You remembered things. You went to other guys in reference to how do you pitch this guy? What is he good with? Where can I throw a fastball on a 3-1 count and he can't hurt me? We did chart. We actually had to do them ourselves. I can remember sitting behind home plate at Busch Stadium and charting every pitch and putting a dotted line when it was a ground ball and a solid line when it was a line drive. And we kept charts on every hitter. We kept charts for every pitcher against the hitter. So we had a lot of that. We just didn't have the 6 or 8 guys that are in the other room doing it for you.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, doing it by hand was a lot. We used to joke, Scott, you were around Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan a lot. And it was a lot of their time was during your playing days. And then, of course, their time here was a little after that. But we used to joke that Dave Duncan was essentially his own analytics department. He had the big trunk with all the notebooks and the different color-coded things. And like that level has always been there. But, with computers and the ability to take 10 seasons worth of data and throw it in together, not just when you face them, but when everybody faces that hitter or pitcher is what we're looking at now.
Yeah, I mean, we had a big, thick book. Mike Rourke was our pitching coach, and he was very good with all that stuff as well. And a pitching coach being a catcher, to me, it seemed like they had a little different way of going about things. Mike Rourke had a catching background, just like Dave Duncan did. And so they had a better idea and a better way of what they felt like was important in reference to the information and the data that you needed to keep. We would have our, team meeting prior to a series, and it would be the whole team. And, we would go into a series, and every hitter was a fastball hitter. And so I would just kind of, at the end of the meeting, said, well, I guess I'm not pitching this series. And we would just chuckle about it because I was a fastball pitcher. But then you understand and the idea of actually pitching instead of just out there and throwing.
Scott, anytime we have someone on by the way, we're talking to Scott Terry here. Anytime we have someone on from the Whitey era, I have to talk to him about Whitey. A few legends these days, but he's certainly one of them in St. Louis. What was your personal relationship with Whitey like?
It was great. The very first day that I got to the Cardinals, I walked in the locker room, and our equipment guy at the time, Buddy Bates, just told me Whitey wants to see you in his office. I walked in his office. He said, Scott Terry, sit down. I've been trying to get you for 3 years. Here's what you're going to do.
That's awesome.
And this is what we know you can do for us. And welcome here. And I know you're gonna do well for us. And so, I mean, it's very simple to be able to understand that. And he was a father figure for me. I call him my baseball dad. But he was also just a great man and an easy man to talk to with an open door. A lot of people can say they have an open door policy, but a lot of people don't want to walk through the door.
Yeah.
But with Whitey, it was real easy to walk through the door, and he just made a point of always, coming around at some point in time and, hey, how's it going? And he would always ask about the family. He would always ask about the off-field stuff as well as on the field.
It's a fascinating thing, Scott, because what we all see, we being all of us that are on the outside, not in a clubhouse, not on a team, we see decisions, right? We see he put on a bunt play here, or he used this reliever there and not that one. Like, that's what we see. But what you're describing is so much more just managing the human beings and managing the people so that you can get the best out of each guy.
And I think, Kevin, that's what Whitey was the best at. And I think every player that ever played for him would tell you that he is not going to put somebody into a situation where he knows that they can't be successful. He's going to give you your best opportunity of success as well as your team, as well as the organization. And when you play it that way, everybody benefits from it.
Scott, I make this personal. I just this summer started playing baseball again after 30 years off playing in a 60 and over league, and it's partially your fault. Reels and I
is awesome.
Reels and I came out to Busch Stadium last year and did a little mini camp with you, and just standing, I'd never been on the field before, just standing at shortstop and then taking a grounder and catching it. I'm like, I'm in. I'm all back in. So I'm in the world of pulled hamstrings, and it's just been so great.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what hurts, and then I figured probably everything.
Everything hurts.
But Dave, if you would have told me that right when you started, we could have had you out to one of our kids' clinics. We would have put you in a group of 12-year-olds, and you would have done outstanding. We would have taught you grips on the ball, ground ball positioning, fly balls, hitting off. We would have got you ready, Dave. I'm telling you.
I tell you what, I could use it. I could use it. The first fly ball I saw, I'm just like, I'm not even close.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Knowing Dave as long as I've known Dave, and Scott's having seen you do lessons and do camps for I don't know now 15, almost 18 years. I would love to see you tell Dave Glover, we can keep doing this your way and getting this result, or you can do this my way and get the good result.
Yeah. I'd probably look at Dave and I'd say, do you not understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Oh, trust me. I was sufficiently intimidated just being out there a little bit. I'm very coachable. I'm very coachable.
I can just tell you, Dave, there is no look like the look that a 15-year-old pitcher gives Scott Terry.
Yeah.
When Scott's trying to explain something to him, and the kid gets it, but he's not doing it, and he doesn't know why he's not doing it. It is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny though is who was it I was talking to the other day? I don't remember. It was a player. It was Ted Simmons.
Uh-huh.
He told me that he wished that he had the look that I look. He said, I would just love to have your look. And my kids used to always say, Dad, give him the look, give him the look. And so I know what you're saying, Kevin, and it's really, I don't know where it came from. I guess it's just a gift.
Yeah.
I'm cursed with it.
You can thank
But
Papa Terry, right?
I can stop some people in their tracks, and I can get them where they've got nothing to, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
I've
for
seen you
some
do that to
reason I'm
grown men.
intimidating. Although no, I'm just a little guy.
Yeah, that's a lot of what fantasy camp ends up being, especially the big one down in Jupiter, Scott, when it's the morning meeting. Do not want to be on the other end of Scott's scouting report on you. Not that I ever did.
You know, and not just me, but also a lot of other people too. Because when you get on that list, you might. Well, we ask you to stand. Actually, we don't do this anymore because we're not allowed. But anyway, we won't go into that. But actually, we would have somebody stand, and then they would be standing for a while.
Yeah.
And we would just kind of go down the row, and everybody would have something. But it was hilarious. We had a lot of fun with it, and we still do. We still do fantasy camps, and we have a great time with them. Matter of fact, we're going to be up at the Field of Dreams in September.
Oh, wow, that's great.
That's cool.
That's super cool.
That's going to be. So when did you say
we're
that
going
was,
to have
Scott?
a Ford. That's September. I think we do 20th through the 24th, something like that, and. We have 4 teams. We'll have a round robin tournament, and each team will, get to play each other. We'll have a tryout the first day. We'll after the tryout, we'll have a draft, and we'll have our 4 teams play each other, and then we'll have a championship game, and we'll crown the winner. We give them a ring. I mean, the whole 9 yards.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
That's great. Scott, always great to talk to you. I think we're talking to you later on in the week, so thank you very much. We appreciate it.
That's great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Do you know that by donating your gently used items to Goodwill, you're not only giving those items a new life, but you're helping people right here in your community enrich their lives with meaningful work? Your donations support Goodwill's mission of helping people with barriers to employment to be able to get rewarding jobs which provide not only a paycheck, but a very important sense of purpose. Your donations really do change lives. Give hope, give local, give Goodwill.
Cardinals fans, join the conversation at Busch Stadium with some of your favorite former Cardinals. With the Cardinals Conversations presented by Edward Jones, you'll hear from former Cardinals such as Ozzie Smith, Ted Simmons, Ray Langford, David Eckstein, or David Freese. Each conversation hosted by Cardinals announcers Chip Carey or Brad Thompson. Your experience also will include a ticket to the game, a pre-signed photo, and the opportunity to take your photo with the featured player. Get your tickets today at cardinals.com/conversations.
It is 2:47. Michael Calhoun from the KMOX Newsroom. Just want to give you an update as this heavy rain is crossing the Mississippi River right now. Taking a look at the map, there are no watches or warnings, so this is not a severe situation. But if you're out on the roads, you definitely want to watch out for any kind of standing water, and some of this heavy rain could flood your windshield. Radar shows from just to the east and south of downtown, Sauget, Cahokia, Centerville, stretching all the way up the south through Namioki, Granite City, Glen Carbon, Edwardsville, South Roxana, Bethalto, up to Bunker Hill and Brighton. Again, no watches or warnings. We do have some slowdowns on 60, 440, and 44 if you're headed eastbound toward the downtown St. Louis area because of this heavy rain. But it is clearing up in downtown, headed through the Metro East right now. We'll keep you up to date.
How many of you think taxes are going to go up in the future? And if they do, who will be hit the hardest?
maybe it's you headed for retirement. You've been saving in that 401k or IRA, and that money has never been taxed. And Uncle Sam is looking at that account like it's a big, juicy steak. What can you do about it? Join the All Financial Group for their Taxes in Retirement Seminar, Tuesday, August 26th or Thursday, August 28th at Fleming's. They believe a financial plan is not a retirement plan without a tax plan. Fund your retirement, not Uncle Sam's. Reserve your spot today by calling 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
The KMOX City SC Soccer Showcase, presented by Michelob Ultra. Heads to Hot Shot Sports Bar and Grill in Wentzville, Thursday, August 14th. A limited number of fans can get an autograph or a picture with City SC left back Jay Reed. Register to win great prizes. Enjoy great food and a cold drink. Hot Shots in Wentzville, the place to be Thursday, August 14th from 6 till 8 p.m. for the City SC Soccer Showcase, presented by Michelob Ultra. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Show, Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX 251. Got some weather out there. Michael, do you have anything to talk about on the weather?
Yeah, we've got a flood advisory that's just been issued by the National Weather Service. They're talking about urban area and small stream flooding. People are usually aware if they've got a stream near their house or if a road tends to flood. This is in effect until 5:45. It's for much of the metro, Madison, St. Clair, Illinois, St. Charles, St. Louis City, St. Louis County in Missouri. Till 5:45, low-lying, poor drainage areas. This thunderstorm has already dropped about 2 inches of rain. Additional rainfall amounts of up to an inch are expected between now and 5:45. And so from St. Louis to Granite City, Edwardsville to Bellefontaine Neighbors, Wood River to Madison and Cahokia, Parks Airport, Spanish Lake, Fairmount City, some of the cities they list, but a flood advisory in effect till 5:45.
Thank you. This is not scientific, but it was crazy here.
It was like a car wash.
Yes.
Came out of nowhere. I know I've said that off the air like 7 times, but I mean, that's what happened. You look outside and it's like, oh, okay, I guess this is happening.
My dad would say it's coming down like it's being poured out of a boot.
Have you ever seen the rain like coming across a field or something?
Yeah,
I only saw it once when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I remember being like dumbstruck by just how cool it looked. And then my dad's like, come on, get inside. You're going to get rained on.
So in Darden Prairie, we have like a 20-acre lake that the house is on. And Phoebe and I still talk about it. She was pretty little. And we were sitting in the gazebo and we saw a wall of rain come across the lake. And it was just so cool. And we didn't even say anything. We both just were like, whoa. Like we knew like that was really cool. That was neat. Where I grew up in South Roxana, The house was the farthest south house, and it overlooked about a 500-acre field. And man, you could really see the weather coming in. And and when they would plant wheat, I would go out there and make a crop circle and just.
It was you.
It was me. Yeah, I was the original crop circle maker. I would get in trouble and I'd go out there. They couldn't find me. I mean, it was a big wheat field.
It's like I'm sending signals.
Yeah. Good show so far.
It's been a great show. It's not even 3:00 yet. Look at all that we stuffed into 2
It
hours.
should be enough. What do you,
I have an idea.
What do you people want?
Let's just play it again.
Yeah, we had Chef Quee, we had Scott Terry.
Yeah. Pretty good back-to-back there.
That's all you people deserve. Come on, it's Tuesday.
Any more than that, it should be Friday.
I'm excited about the think tank today, too.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's Braxton Payne and Kurt Barr. I like those guys.
Two good guys.
Going to be a fun discussion, I'm sure. Dave Murray's weather, of course.
Speaking of friends of the show, Avi Loeb is making news again. Our friend who's the head of astronomy at Harvard. He says, start the countdown. We have 116 days until we know whether aliens are real, because the new interstellar object is heading toward Earth.
Yeah.
And it will reach its closest point, which Avi is a great showman.
Yeah.
Because he uses science to titillate. And he's saying that its trajectory is on exactly the course he would set if it were going to release a probe onto Earth.
Like if it was going to skim the solar system, right? That's kind of the approach angle.
Yes.
Because it's going to go like almost like lengthwise across the solar system. So if you were going to see what's up, that's what you would do.
So 116 days.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, I say bring it on.
What do you say?
Bring
Yes or no?
it.
At this point, why not, right?
Yeah.
Why not?
Just hopefully they're nice.
Yeah.
I don't
Look
need
up when
face
that
eaters.
is.
No face eating aliens.
Chris Ranji for Siteman Cancer Center, and you have to know that you are somebody's favorite person, and your health matters not just to you, but it matters to people who care about you. Getting screened early for any cancer, whether it's colon or breast cancer, prostate cancer, or lung cancer, it is important to do that. Siteman has set up a website called GetScreenedNow.com. And when you go to it, it's going to help you find a location nearer you. If you live a little farther out from St. Louis and don't want to make the trip into the city, you can get screened closer to home. GetScreenedNow.com, because for me, I'm over 45. It's time for that colonoscopy. Third leading cause of cancer-related deaths in both men and women. And GetScreenedNow.com will help you find a location that is good for you. Doing it early, really, really important. GetScreenedNow.com.
You guys, about my friend Susan L. Ward. So when you're talking about divorce, I take it very seriously. I have been divorced. I have done about 200 divorces as an attorney. And I hate the concept of like divorce parties. It's a sad thing, especially when there are children involved. And I have seen how you can take an already precarious position, because let's just be adults here. If you are seeing a divorce attorney, if you're going through a divorce, things aren't great between you and your spouse. But nothing will make them worse like a divorce. And many attorneys, I can say this now freely, many divorce attorneys will whip it up on purpose so that rather than being a $5,000 divorce, it's a $25,000 divorce. Susan L. Ward has been around the block. I've known her for 30 years, and she was great back then. She does not do that ever. If you want to keep things amicable and you want to try to maybe mediate the case, she can oversee that. She will keep things between the rails for you. If someone is not going to cooperate, if someone's being mean, if someone has been abusive emotionally, mentally, physically, addiction problems, then she will be a fierce advocate, but she has every arrow in the quiver. She'll give you a free consultation when you call and let them know that you're from the show. 314-783-9400, stlfamilylaw.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
If you have been in a car accident in the past and have settled your case, I may have some good news. Some unethical lawyers have people known as runners who come directly to your hospital room or home and solicit your case. It's a disbarable offense. Anyone that would hire these scumbags needs to have their heads examined. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Now for the good news. If this happened to you, we will sue these lowlifes and fight to get all your fees back. And then look and see if these bottom feeders also malpracticed your case and sue them for that too. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Visit forthepeople.com for a free consultation or call Pound Law on your cell, pound 529. If someone does this to you, call the Bar Association and report them. Let's fight these bums. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It is 3 o'clock in mid-America. We've got thunderstorms. It's currently 88 degrees downtown at the Arch, and a flood advisory has been issued for St. Louis City, St. Louis County, St. Charles County, Madison, and St. Clair counties in Illinois until 5:45. Let's check in right now with KMOX's Maria Kina downtown.
The rain has all but ended in downtown St. Louis. It even looks like the sunshine's getting ready to come out. Not 5 minutes ago, there was literally a monsoon coming down. You could not see in either direction. North, south, east, or west. Traffic had come to a standstill along Tucker Boulevard because the rain was coming down so quickly you just couldn't see anything. Now the temperature has dropped dramatically and you have a pretty good wind gust at this point, but it looks for now as though the rain has subsided.
But there is flooding impacting Highway 4064. The eastbound lanes at Jefferson flooded out in the right 2 lanes. Westbound lanes at Jefferson flooded out in the left 2 lanes. Ameren, Illinois is reporting close to 10,000 customers are without power, primarily in Madison County. The bulk of the outages in East Dalton and Wood River. There is no estimate on when power will be restored. Fewer than 1,000 customers are out on the Missouri side. In other news, St. Louis County Executive Sam Page speaks publicly for the first time since being indicted.
Page was indicted last month on 2 felony counts and 2 misdemeanor counts after allegedly misusing taxpayer funds on an anti-Prop B mailer to voters. In his first comments to the press since then, he maintains his innocence.
I don't believe I've done anything wrong. We'll cooperate fully with the investigation, and we'll continue to do the important work of St. Louis County, like being here today for this ribbon cutting.
Asked if he plans to run for re-election, Page says he has not made a decision and will make an announcement before the end of the year. State Senator Brian Williams announced he will run for the Democratic nomination, potentially against Page. Their primary is about a year from now. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
It's still not known what caused the explosion at the Pennsylvania steel plant yesterday that killed 2 people. Dave Burritt is the CEO of U.S. Steel.
This is an extraordinarily difficult day for the U.S. Steel family. We have suffered heartbreaking losses.
It's been closed for a decade, but downtown's former Millennium Hotel is apparently still hosting visitors. Thomas Robinson says he saw 3 people sitting on the roof of the Round Tower while having dinner nearby last weekend. His video has racked up thousands of views.
They ask them all type of questions. How do they get up there? Why are they up there? There's people up there saying that that's not the first time that's happened as well. I've had people tell me to look on their pages. They got videos of them doing the same thing. So I'm guessing it's a frequent thing.
54 arrests at the Millennium this year. A case has been filed at the U.S. Supreme Court seeking to overturn the 2015 ruling legalizing same-sex marriage.
The case was filed by Kim Davis, a Christian former Kentucky clerk who was briefly jailed in 2015 for refusing to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples after the legalization of same-sex marriage. Lambda Legal CEO Kevin Jennings recently told CBS News,
I think there's a very distinct possibility that Obergefell could be overturned.
In 2020, the court rejected a Davis petition challenging her punishment for refusing to perform same-sex marriages. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
The KMOX Business Desk, President Trump shaking things up at the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
The president fired the head of the agency after he took issue with the latest jobs report. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt insists things will be different under the president's handpicked choice to take over the Bureau.
We need to look at the means and the methods of how the United States is acquiring this very important data, and all of that is going to be done. And the goal, of course, is to provide honest and good data for the American people to make very important economic decisions on.
E.J. Antoni has criticized monthly jobless reports and has suggested providing data quarterly instead. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Let's get an update of the St. Louis Business Index. Here is Stifel's Scott Bedell. Scott.
Good afternoon, Michael. Hello, everyone. A favorable inflation report put the momentum train back on the upside track with several indexes at all-time highs. For the day, the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 483 points, or a little over 1%, to 44,458. The Standard & Poor's 500 index also higher by a little more than 1% to 6,445, while the NASDAQ Composite Index was up 1.4% at 21,681. The best performance on the day belonged to the Bloomberg St. Louis Index, which added 2% at 1,597. Helping that index to move higher, Caleres up 7% at $14.68. Enterprise Financial Services gained 4% at $26.97. Stifel Financial added 3% at $114.47. Just a couple stocks on the downside. Energizer fell 1.25% at $27.55, while Future Fuel lost 4%. They closed at $3.61. This has been Scott Bedell from Stifel Financial, member SIPC and New York Stock Exchange. For more information on our firm, we invite you to visit our website at stifel.com.
And again, because of this rain, we've got to tell you about 6440 at Jefferson. The situation there, 40 at Jefferson eastbound. The right two lanes are closed. Westbound, the left two lanes are closed. There's a crash on 55 south at Loughborough. That's got the left lane closed there. Some stalled vehicles, 170 south at 270 on the right shoulder, 270 south at Page in the left lane, 44 west at 55 on the right shoulder.
August doing its thing this afternoon, but certainly nothing extreme for this time of year. The extreme is coming back Friday, Saturday, and Sunday when upper 90s return. But today, 92 should do it. Partly sunny skies, but let's keep an eye out for a couple of scattered thunderstorms, some with downpours of rain and some lightning. Tonight, partly cloudy, couple of thunderstorms, 73. Wednesday, partly sunny, couple of storms, 90. Same story Thursday, 92. But again, upper 90s back Friday and over the weekend. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
We do have thunderstorms in the region. It's 88 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Have a special shout out. The warehouse at General Motors, specifically the 3 p.m. shift that just came on a few minutes ago, entertain themselves every day with the DGS.
Rock
Oh,
on.
awesome.
Right?
What's up,
Rock
everybody?
on.
Isn't that the best?
It is the best.
Specifically, Carl Bryant. Shout out to Carl and all the boys.
Good job.
What's up, guys?
Glad the boss man lets that happen.
Pretty great.
Yeah.
Pretty great.
Or makes it happen, maybe.
Yeah.
And if your boss doesn't like it, then you tell him we said.
You just walk out of that place.
You march right up to him. We give you full empowerment to do so.
Yeah, over the years, we've had great representation, like truck drivers, cops, cruising around, listening to the show.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty great. Big
I
compliment.
like when truck drivers are listening because there's you got to figure out what you're going to do if you're a truck driver. You know what I mean? There's a lot of intent because you're going to be driving for
You have a lot of choices.
a very long time. And so, to choose us over dedicating yourself to a podcast or a show or a stream or just, music.
I agree.
Very nice.
You know what sucks? Say what you want about homelessness as a policy, but I'm looking out the window right now and it's pouring rain outside KMOX, and there are about a dozen homeless people out there just drenched.
Just stuck.
Sucks.
I was just thinking that when that first downpour was going, I was like, where do you go?
Yeah, they all huddled under a tree.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah. Bad.
Nope, not good.
So, Wheel, studies show that younger generations are becoming more introverted, disagreeable, less conscientious, more neurotic.
Yeah, and this was a pretty good quality study too. It's not like somebody just read something on the internet or saw a TikTok or whatever. Because what they're trying to do is understand why people are kind of going the direction that they are. So what they're showing is if you're age 60 or older, according to this, your level of conscientiousness, your neuroticism, your level of agreeableness, extroversion, those things, they've really been pretty consistent. Now it's getting worse on a lot of those things, though. It's getting worse for every age group. So a little less so, like conscientiousness, as an example, if you're 60 and older, has almost been a flat line for the last 20 years. My age group, just under that, right? The 40 to 59, that's been a pretty consistent downward trend.
Okay.
But for the youngest people they studied, 16 to 39, it's an even bigger downward trend. It's way down low. And that's just the mindfulness, right? But I also wonder how much of that is just when you're young, you're not mindful. Because I wasn't.
Yeah.
Right. At 20, I wasn't mindful. I was just doing things. But it's interesting that it matches the same trend line as Gen X. So basically, we're looking at older millennials and Gen X compared to younger millennials and Gen Z in that when you look at neuroticism for people 60 and above, it's just under 50%. And again, basically a flat line the last 20 years. Next level, like the mid-level one, kind of still going up, but more flat. But the younger one's going way up and constantly going up. Agreeableness, I mean, like the 60 plus, almost a flat line for the last 20 years. And it's almost like, and I'm not trying to be a smartass, because I think a lot of things influence this. It's almost like the younger you are, the more those things play out. The older you are, the more you've kind of figured it out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You've stabilized. So if you tend to be agreeable or disagreeable, you're kind of that. You're kind of what you are. Where when you're younger, you're still kind of flying. At least, again, going by my own experience, it kind of feels like that's the way for me, right? The older I've gotten, the more the line is kind of leveled off. And the same thing, but here's what's interesting. All three age groups have become more extroverted, a lot more over the last 20 years. So if you went back to the beginning, it was around 2012 they started doing this study. All of the people, when you asked them if they were extroverts, 50% or more than 50% said yes in all three groups. But it wasn't more than 60% in any of the groups. So they were all right there in the 50 to 55% range. Now they're all in the 40 to 45% range, with the younger people being the least extroverted of them, but all of the groups becoming more extroverted, which I find to be fascinating.
So they're more extroverted.
No, less.
Oh,
We're becoming less extroverted.
Okay.
Which I think we can understand, right? Because we have more things in our own little bubble that occupy us.
Yeah.
2012 is not that long ago, but keeping in mind, 2012, you didn't have all the streaming. You didn't have social media to the level that you have it now, the number of social media things. You didn't have, the ability to watch any movie, anytime, anywhere, and, sports in your living room all the time. And things have changed a lot in these last 20, 23 years. What I find frustrating, though, is people always want to talk about one cause or effect, one cause that leads to this effect. When I think it's a lot of things, right? Like how much of that looks like a lot of it dropped off dramatically from 2020 on. Because all of those numbers, now they were going down for all of the age groups before 2020, but it accelerated after 2020.
How much do you think? How do I put this? I am not a religious person, so I'm a pretty practical, pragmatic person. Yet I always kind of feel like the worst isn't going to happen. Things are going to work out. And when COVID came along, I think it gave all of us a pretty good dose of, wow, that can happen.
Yeah.
Like,
something out of your control.
And if it did that to 55-year-olds, think what it did to 10-year-olds.
Sure. Right. And again, this group was looking at, well, let's just say the youngest group they looked at was 16. But say you're in high school. Think about the things the way that changes how your brain is going to process the world.
Yeah.
Is it shocking that age group is less agreeable?
No.
Now, again, I think I was less agreeable at 19 than I am now.
Yeah.
I don't know that that group's always going to be certain ways. But what the trend lines are interesting is that we all basically almost everybody but 60 and older is getting more neurotic as time goes by. And I wonder too if some of that has to do with age. You're kind of settling, you're set in before all of this stuff that's happening so that it's not impacting you. Like, for example, you're not on social media.
Right.
You're not on Twitter. I mean, you do TikTok, but you're not like participating in it. I wonder how much the level of participation in those things and at what age you start participating them in, how much that impacts all of that. But it's an interesting thing because you're seeing similar trends for all age groups.
Yeah.
They're more extreme for the younger people, but younger people's personalities do tend to be more extreme because you're young and you haven't sorted through things yet.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I think so. I do think, though, we'd be a little remiss if we didn't give some credit just to, I mean, even comparing like my high school experience with the high school experience of a child now. I graduated from high school in 2009. We had the internet, but it was on a family computer in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wasn't able to access anything in my room. It was very just like strict as far as what I was looking at and the things I was getting into. Now everybody has this computer in their hand, and there's so many avenues for telling kids they're not good enough. Here's the gold standard, which, by the way, you will never rise to.
Right, because it's not real.
Yeah, it's not real. But when you're a kid, you don't know that.
Right.
And I remember I've brought this up so many times on the show, but like seeing like Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan and stuff when I was in high school and just being like, oh, I'm not as skinny as them. And I feel like I never will be. And that was such a small amount of what girls in particular these days experience. I mean, we didn't have filters that go, like, it's called the beauty filter. It's a filter that makes your face look beautiful because you're not actually beautiful. You need to do something to make yourself look good.
Yeah.
Like it's very sad, and I think that does play into it. I think you're right that like it might get a little easier as you get older, but man, these kids are getting pummeled with stuff that we just didn't have to deal with.
Oh yeah, the other part I wanted to ask you guys about to get your take on this. This has also been really, I mean, it's been more than the last 20, 25 years, but it keeps accelerating. How much do you think just the political atmosphere in the United States, and by that I mean just the nonstop conversation about politics, it never stops. And it's funny, Daniel's in here. Daniel runs the board for Redbird Rush Hour, Sports Open Line, Cardinals games. And we were talking about it, and he was like, God, I wish people would stop talking about politics. And I was like, you know what, buddy? There was a time when nobody talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
But really, it's more than that. I think it started, what would you say, Dave, mid to late 90s, Rush Limbaugh blowing up, the cable news networks needing content. Well, politics is cheap content. It's easy. It's titillating. It makes people mad. That makes you watch, like all of that stuff. How much do you guys think that dynamic plays into these trend lines that we're talking about?
Huge. Yeah, just huge.
Because think about it. If you're younger, and Rach and Andrew, you guys are in this group, you've never known a time when this wasn't the case. When politics weren't always the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of hit our consciousness, which I feel like you do around when you're, around 13 or so. Well, when I was 13, it was 2003, which is when, the Iraq war started. And then 2 years before that, it was 9/11. So, right as I'm starting to come into like, so what really is out there in the world? I'm like, oh.
People are mad.
So that's the world. Got it. And then it's pretty much just been some continuation of that for the 20 plus years since.
And even that's tied into what you're talking about, Rach. I mean, it's combined with social media, because what do you see on there? It's nonstop. It's nonstop bickering back and forth, nonstop calling the other side that you disagree with names. So you combine your self-image, which is already going to be an issue that Rach laid out there. You combine all of the political stuff, and then just the general access to all of it. I don't think it's surprising at all that every age group is basically getting worse. And when it comes to all of these things, and again, the older you are in this study, the less you seem to be getting worse. It's more of a flat line, but it's not totally flat, especially not when it comes to things like neuroticism or being extroverted, because all of the groups are going downward or going in the wrong direction in those categories.
Yeah. I'm not happy about the study, but it helps me breathe a little better that it lines up with my experience.
Yeah.
That you say like, the last 20 years, man. And to see that the actual data says the same thing.
It's not so much a relief because it sucks that it's happening, but it makes it feel, you feel like you're not crazy.
Yes.
You feel like, okay, I do understand what I'm seeing. And maybe the big takeaway is we're just not meant to be bombarded nonstop about everything.
We're learning a lot about humans.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, even if we could eventually adjust to this much information all the time, I mean, I have faith that the human race is capable of like, okay, like we've got our sea legs, we're good. But it happened so quickly. Like this generation of folks, it was like from 0 to 100 on most of this stuff. So it just, I think Wheels is right. I don't think we're meant to be inundated with all of this all of the time. It should have been a much slower rollout, but we just got excited and
we lost control.
Yeah, we lost control a little bit. Exactly.
And now we're going to go from the age of social media to the age of AI.
Fast. Like that's the one thing that makes all of this. I think we do recover. It's a good point. We're a very adaptable species, right? We've adapted to a lot of changes over the last couple of millennia. Well, before that, I mean, tens of thousands of years, right? But it takes time to adjust. And the faster things happen, the harder it is to kind of get it all lined up.
Yeah. Lombardo Rage?
Yeah, I would love to tell everybody about the Towns of Linneman Park. These are new townhomes by Lombardo located in St. Peters. This would be a great opportunity if you're looking to maybe downsize the big family home, or you're looking for your first starter home. It's just going to come without, the typical maintenance of a home if you get one of these townhomes of Linneman Park. They're located on the south side of 36494 east of Harvester Road, and they offer floor plans featuring 2 to 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, a loft, and 2-car attached garages. Great community amenities. You can tour their newly decorated display and fall in love with your new townhome.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the townhomes at Linneman Park, but we have dozens of communities, and they're great at building them, and clubhouses and pools and pickleball courts and dog parks and walking trails, and they always pay great attention to the detail. Plus, I know the people. Mike Van Pammel, the main guy, the president of the company, is a good friend of mine. They take care of their people. They don't expect you to sign on the dotted line the first time they meet you. They're very, very cool people. Check them out at lombardohomes.com.
Hey, what's up, flies? This is David Spade. Dana Carvey. Look, I know we never actually left, but I'll just say it. We are back with another season of Fly on the Wall. Every episode, including ones with guests, will now be on video. Every Thursday, you'll hear us and see us chatting with big-name celebrities. And every Monday, you're stuck with just me and Dana. We react to news, what's trending, viral clips. Follow and listen to Fly on the Wall everywhere you get your podcasts.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts. Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
Rounded to third. Diving play by Arenado. Big get the out. Unbelievable.
Get ready for the ultimate showdown. The New York Yankees come to Busch Stadium the weekend of August 15th through the 17th, and they're bringing the star power. See sluggers like Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton take on your Cardinals in one of the biggest series of the season. Finish off your summer in style with the Cardinals and Yankees. Great seats still available. Get yours now at Cardinals.com.
This is Nolan Arenado, St. Louis Cardinals, Fort Lulu.
Summer in St. Louis means one thing: Cardinals baseball. It's more than a game, it's an STL tradition. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, the boom of the fireworks. It's the soundtrack to summer for Cardinals Nation. So grab your cap and glove and take your spot in the stands, because in St. Louis, baseball is more than a melody, it's our favorite song.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Stronger than ever.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX 325. Dave Murray coming up on the other side of the break. We have Braxton Payne and Kurt Barr, who are our guests for the Think Tank, which is an every Tuesday at 4 p.m. thing where we get two reasonable, smart people who disagree on politics. We get them together. We kind of hash out a few things. I think infinitely better and more useful than the classic bomb throwers. So that's what we do on Tuesdays, and that's coming up at 4 p.m. I have a new fear unlocked.
Uh-oh.
Wheels, you ever been over the Tampa Bay Bridge? I don't know they call it, but the big steep one.
Yep.
That sucked.
Really?
Oh my God, yeah.
You didn't like that, huh?
Height, water.
Yeah, it's an interesting
bridge.
looking one. Yeah. I mean, but it's sturdy.
I had F-150 in front of me, and I just kept staring at the back of it.
I got stuck on a traffic jam on there once. It's annoying because
I can't imagine. I even said to Nick, I'm like, if traffic stops, I'm jumping off the side.
There's one.
He's like, I'm swimming.
I think it might be Pontchartrain down in Louisiana where I went across, and there is no it feels like you're on the ocean on a bridge. Like you just can not even make out land around you, and that was pretty terrifying.
Where was that?
I think Louisiana. I think it might have been like Pontchartrain.
Yeah, that's great. I've driven that. That's a lot of fun.
It was like neat in theory, but as somebody who also height and open water can be tricky things. It's like, boy, this is unnerving. If anything goes wrong.
Yeah, Dave just described something like I relate to so much. You said, what kind of truck was it in front of you?
An F-150.
Yeah. I mean, how many times have I been driving down the highway in just a not ideal situation? And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to focus on the vehicle in front of me. Like you are my guiding light through all of this.
Yeah.
You ever done Alligator Alley down in South Florida?
Never have.
It's not elevated, so it's nothing but you are just on like a 4-lane road going through the Everglades. And there are stops scattered, but there's lots of non-stops.
Yeah.
Did you ever do the causeway down to Key West?
I have.
That's pretty cool. You got ocean on the sides. And then you're like, gosh, Well, good thing there's not a hurricane because this would all be underwater.
Yeah, I saw the Tampa Stadium where the roof was blown out by the hurricane. That was crazy.
They still working on it?
Yes.
Because I know they're trying to get it ready for next year.
Yeah.
Because right now they're playing in a minor league ballpark, and I guess it's been tolerable, right? They're getting through it.
Getting through it.
Yep.
Tell you guys about Mosby Building Arts. And I mean, what can you say about Mosby Building Arts? They really are the gold standard here in St. Louis, really in the Midwest, for any kind of renovation, remodeling to your home. They do pretty much everything. I'm a big fan of their lower level stuff. I hesitate to call it a man cave, but everyone understands what a man cave is. But it's super elevated and very elegant, and any vibe you're going for, they can make it happen. And then the outdoor stuff. You know, I just got back from vacation and at a resort and going to restaurants on the water and saw lots of cool outdoor things and patios and outdoor cooking areas and all sorts of things that you could say, yeah, that's what I want. Take a picture of it. Take a picture off the internet, rip it off from a neighbor, whatever you're going to do, take it to Mosby Building Arts, and they will make it happen at a price that you can afford. Trust, expertise, premium experience, that's what you can expect from Mosby Building Arts. 314-909-1800, mosbybuildingarts.com.
Hello, fellow Missourians. This is your Congressman Bob Onder. My top priority is serving you. Whether you need help with a VA claim, Social Security, Medicare, or any other federal issue, my team and I are here to cut through the red tape and give you answers. In the last 6 months alone, we have returned over $1 million to taxpayers. Call my office or visit my website, onder.house.gov, to learn more. Missouri is my home, and I'm honored to serve you in D.C.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
The Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, how an innovative immunotherapy is showing promise against aggressive T-cell cancers. Joining us is Dr. John DiPersio.
Until very recently, until this paper and a few other groups in the world have sort of developed approaches for T-cell malignancies, there was no hope for patients who relapsed. There were no effective therapies. This is a way of treating these patients that would normally have no other recourse.
For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, traffic is backed up in the downtown area. Of course, we've had downpours. Eastbound and westbound 64, a mess. Eastbound 64, let's call it slow at Hampton, and it's in pockets, and then it's backing up by the time you get into around Compton, Jefferson. It's solid both ways on the bridge over to the Illinois side to about 3rd Street, and the eastbound stuff extends over to Exchange. 70 both ways around the 64 split, and eastbound across the Mutual Veterans Bridge is heavy. Eastbound 44 is backed up from Jefferson all the way out onto westbound 70, which is heavy all the way through Adelaide. Eastbound 70 backs up from, let's call it Shreve, all the way in past onto westbound 44 past the Poplars. So the downpours we had downtown really just made a mess of everything in the area there. Southbound 55, it's an incident. I guess it's an accident. The EMS just pulled up. They're blocking the left lane at the Holly Hills overpass. So southbound 55 is jammed back through to Gasconade right now. Once you get around that, it's just a little busy. Z to McNutt. Westbound 44, some heavy stuff. Lindbergh to 270. 64 westbound, you start to see delays around Grand, but again, it's just slow all the way to Big Bend. Clayton Morrison all the way to 270 and 364 out to Highway 70. Westbound Highway 70 looks good in the city. A little busy around Cave Springs, and then Lake St. Louis out past 61. South 270 backs up south of Page to Ladue, and North 270 is busy from Manchester to Ladue. The southbound side heavy, Big Bend to 44. I'm Roger Brand at the Michaels Flooring Outlet.com Traffic Center.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. So tell them today, I love you. Get screened. It could help save their life. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
It's never too early to start thinking about your retirement journey, and it's never too late either. You just need to know that the steps may look a little different. Listen to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg, Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
The smartest way to do your homework is Heckman Lumber.
Warm weather means homework for homeowners, and for 80 years, Hackman Lumber has been a trusted name for home improvement. If your homework means a new deck, turn to the deck experts at Hackman Lumber. Browse the largest inventory of decking materials and accessories in Missouri. Talk with their experts about treated lumber, cedar, TimberTech, Trex, Envision, AZEK, and Decorators to find the perfect deck for you. Choose from endless railings, balusters, and LED deck lighting options. And they will not be undersold on in-stock decking materials, guaranteed. Hackman has you covered. Building a new fence or replacing an old one? Hackman Lumber now carries in stock Eastern Red Cedar, the perfect choice for long-lasting, beautiful landscaping. Inventory includes 4x4 and 6x6 posts, dog ear pickets, and 2x4 framing. Homeowners and pros will find everything they need to build it right the first time. Visit Hackman Lumber's newly remodeled stores in St. Peters, Pacific, and Troy, Missouri.
Wake up informed. Wake up empowered. Wake up to Total Information AM, your morning must.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey. I'm Megan Lynch.
This is Tom Ackerman. From local news to breaking headlines to weather, traffic, and the stories that matter most, we've got you covered before your first sip of coffee. Expert analysis, right perspectives from the people you trust. Total Information AM. Your day starts here. Mornings beginning at 5 on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Calling all future sportscasters. Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum, Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros. Just $10 for students, lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. Register by September 2nd at Missouri Broadcasters.org.
Today, the Cards, the Rockies.
Ameren Total Access 550.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Dave Murray's weather forecast is sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX 334. Have some flash flooding going on out there, and a couple of highways closed down. Jefferson 44 eastbound last we checked, so just be very careful out there. Timely as usual. Dave Murray joins us now. Hello, Dave.
Hi there. Before we get on to the weather, you were talking about bridges.
Yes.
Do you remember, and I don't remember the name of it, but before they built the Clark Bridge to Alton?
Yes.
That bridge?
Yes.
The old bridge.
I remember.
It was like every time I was on that, and I love going to Alton and Grafton and places like that, it would shake. Even if it was like a 5 mile per hour wind. Yeah, you'd be driving along and
yeah. Yeah, I grew up over there, so that was a rough one. Yeah, bridges in general are I mean, it's understandable why anyone would have a fear of bridges.
Yeah, especially the kind of bridges you were talking about.
Yes.
Like the Chesapeake Bay Bridge.
Don't know that one.
Oh, yeah. I've been on that one too. Yeah.
What is that, like 20 miles long?
Yes. It's crazy.
It's like about halfway through it, you think, oh, I don't know. I can't turn around.
Yeah.
I
have a
really
flat tire.
Go forward.
One of the bad things about being dumb, like I am, like I'm math dumb and I'm building dumb, is I don't trust other people. I assume everyone's dumb like me. So when I'm on a bridge or I get in a plane, I'm like, these idiots, I know they didn't put this together the right way. So I just can't relate. I just like, you might as well be able to fly. I can't relate to people being able to build things. So, Dave, we had a gully washer, real frog strangler about an hour ago, just kind of popping up here and there.
Yeah, it really is. It's almost a line now, mainly in Illinois, but there was a pretty good thunderstorm. It wasn't severe, but a good, real drencher, some lightning right through downtown St. Louis over to the east side. That's still around in Madison County, but it's really fallen apart quite a bit. The thunderstorms now are from about Springfield, Illinois. Let's take it down to Litchfield. And you know what? We could it's still raining pretty good at Alhambra and Marine, but that's dying. And then there's another little batch down around Oakville and Mascoutah, and then another batch down around Chester. Most of it, with the exception of 50, 60 miles south of St. Louis, most of it's in Illinois right now. That is kind of a cool front. It's kind of a cool front. It is coming through, just barely, but it's going to come through. So Wednesday and Thursday are going to feel a little bit better temperature-wise and also humidity-wise. Kind of a 2-day break. Could kind of include today, too, was a nice break because of the storms. But 88 tomorrow, just a tiny chance of a spot thunderstorm, but better, feeling better. 68 Wednesday night. That should feel pretty good.
Very nice.
Thursday, partly sunny, 80s to near 90. That's the break, Wednesday and Thursday. Hope you enjoy it. Okay?
We'll take it.
Friday morning's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. The humidity starts to come back Thursday night. Friday, sunny, 95 for the high Friday afternoon, 97 to 99 degrees for high temperatures Saturday and Sunday. And, of course, we'll have plenty of St. Louis humidity to go with that.
Damn. Yeah.
But that's one of the things, it's like wintertime, too, and say, one of the great things about our weather and climate is that we get these breaks, little breaks from time to time, kind of give you the light at the end of the tunnel.
Is St. Louis right at the top of the list for all four seasons?
It is in my book. And that's what makes forecasting so great and why I love the area so much for a thousand reasons. But the weather is fantastic.
Yeah.
Just fantastic.
It's a good blend.
Yeah. And there are 4 distinct seasons. Every place in this country has 4 seasons. But there's just variations on it.
Yeah.
I feel like we skip a lot of spring. Like we get a little spring, like right into hot.
Spring sometimes can be like 2 or 3 days. Fall can be like that too. It's like, oh, this is beautiful.
Yeah, we stay hot right up until Thanksgiving.
That's right. Man, I remember some Thanksgivings where it was like 90 degrees.
Happy Turkey Day.
I did not expect that in my later life I would become so heat averse. Like I've always been like a layer outer and stuff like that, and in the pool and worked outside on the farm. But the older I get, the less I can take the heat. The cold's fine. Really doesn't bother me.
That will start to change too.
Oh, great. I'm gonna have like a 5 degree.
It's like a roller coaster ride. You're on the uptide now. Pretty soon it's gonna go woo, and then turn.
I only like 65 to 70.
It is funny, Dave. I don't know if you're like this, but I don't care less about most things, but I do care less about some things. For example, going on vacation forever. I've always been obsessed with getting a great tan. And I'm not even sure why. It's not like the only thing that stood between me and being good looking. So, but I would always just like, oh my God, it's going to be rainy today. And now I couldn't care less. Right. And I got just as tan. Right. I mean, I just don't, it's never mattered. Like, you want to go to breakfast? Go to breakfast. Well, we're going to miss some sun. Who cares? It was kind of nice finding something I didn't care much about.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good. Headlines, Rach?
Yeah, brought to you by Schnucks. Reward yourself daily with the Schnucks Rewards app. Elon Musk says he's suing Apple for not featuring X and its Grok artificial intelligence chatbot app in its top recommended apps in the Apple App Store. Sorry for saying app 5,000 times in one sentence. But he's basically claiming that they're playing politics and they don't want to feature Grok and they don't want to feature X. So he's saying they will take immediate legal action. Didn't really give further details than that.
Rich guy problems.
Well, also I'm confused, right? Like, does a private company have to give everybody a fair shake? Can they not pick and choose? I mean, Elon has made choices about Twitter that he wanted to change, things he wanted to be a certain way. Is that? I mean, I'm literally asking the question. Like, we always say this: it's a private company; they can make their own rules, and if people don't like those rules, then it'll hurt the business.
Yeah.
Well, he's also claiming that they're making it impossible for any AI company, not just Grok, to reach number one in the App Store because they're trying to artificially inflate OpenAI. That's the claim that Musk is making?
Their own product. Or is it not? Or are they partners with them? Maybe.
I thought OpenAI. There's so many of these.
I
It's
know.
like, wait, which one is?
Ask
which?
AI.
Who's on what team? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which AI should we ask?
Being in a business that relies so much on ratings and the ratings technology, which is crap. And I say that having been number 1 under both systems and having been number 10 under both systems, it's just crap. And so when I hear things like that, I just assume it's crap.
Okay, so that was a great question, Wheels. OpenAI and Apple announced a partnership last year. They're eventually going to integrate ChatGPT into the Apple experience. I believe that has been pushed off like several times at this point, but there is definitely a connection there.
So they want to help their business partner, and they don't want to help the companies that are not their business partners, and they're a private company, and that's not allowed.
They would have to prove some sort of tortious interference with
Yeah.
the business expectation. That just came out of nowhere.
Dave's like,
sounded good.
You just
My
snapped
head
it back.
just exploded.
Yeah, yours.
Dave, you like when I was looking at you, it looked like you appeared in a suit for a second there.
I just pulled my groin.
His eyes rolled back in his head. He's like, it's making me think of my
Lawyer
insurance
Dave
case.
popped in.
Promissory estoppel.
Okay, they're thinking about doing a UFC fight at the White House, and
So, of
Dana White
course.
says it's happening amid this Paramount deal. They would be. They're claiming it'll happen on the 4th of July next year, celebrating 250 years
It'll
of
happen.
American independence.
Why not?
Sure
It'll
will.
happen.
It will happen.
20,000
Yeah.
spectators on the White House grounds.
Look, I like combat sports. I enjoy fights and boxing and MMA. It's fine. But nothing screams class like people fighting at the White House.
Yeah.
Hey, if we do this, could we make the various politicos fight each other? Could they be the undercard?
There you
That'd
go.
be awesome.
Oh,
Excellent.
I'm in on that.
I'll bet you, though, not bet you, I know it's true, that the White House has been a strange house for a long time.
Yeah.
You ever done any studying up about Calvin Coolidge?
No.
That dude was a freak.
What did he do?
What was he up to?
Total
Was
freak.
it like Diddy stuff?
He would no. He would like they had all sorts of exotic animals just running around the White House grounds.
Oh.
He slept until 2 p.m. every day. He wouldn't talk to anybody. Like just, we've had some weirdos in the house.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I'm gonna have to read about this.
Look up Coolidge.
Coolidge is like, I got a zoo.
A historic downtown Las Vegas casino is taking out all of their live dealer tables. This is happening at the Golden Gate, phasing out traditional table games in favor of slots and electronic table game machines. They say they did something similar at another casino under the same ownership, and they want it to be a more high energy gambling experience. Just thought this was kind of interesting. They say they're not going to get rid of any jobs because dealers are going to be offered positions at other casinos owned by the same people. We'll see if that actually shakes out, but just interesting.
I'm curious if the people who like blackjack prefer the machine versus the human game.
I like the interaction. I'm not a big gambler, but when I was in Vegas, I would go down like in the early morning hours. And I don't know if you know this, but at least where I was, they can tell you whether to hit or not in blackjack.
Oh, no, they want to help you. Yeah.
So cool.
Because the house knows they're going to win.
Yeah, and I'm not good at it, so
Right.
that was really fun.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
I had my first AI experience at a drive-through the other day.
Oh, which drive-through?
White Castle.
Okay.
So after getting
Chateau
back from
Blanc.
vacation, I went for a massage, and I'm leaving my massage place, and what do I see? A White Castle.
Nice.
And I'm like,
It's a sign. It's a sign from God.
It's
Good you
Dave
didn't
Day.
do that the other way around.
That's right. That's
oh, man.
right.
Poor
I'd have
masseuse.
had to have tipped a lot more. But I drive up and they said, would you like a chicken slider sandwich? And I'm like, yes, I would. And then they just went silent. And I didn't know whether to talk or not talk. So I just sat there for like 3 minutes feeling stupid.
And it's like, are you there?
Yeah. So then I just went #1 with cheese and the diet. And they're like, okay, thank you.
Okay, this is not an AI experience, but earlier today, my friend Andrew did walk down to KFC with me as I was grabbing something to eat. And it was the Gen Z stare times 1,000. Like
from like 6 different people. It was like the birds.
Well, but it was crazy because like no one was standing where they check you out. So eventually someone finally moved to a cash register. And then I go up there and it was like a showdown because I didn't want to be the one to speak first. But then after about 45 seconds, I'm like, this kid is not going to say anything to me.
Wow.
And he's looking at me like I'm crazy for not starting. So then I'm like, yeah, can I just get like a soda and a blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. It was very funny.
Why are you even in here?
If I wouldn't have said something, I think I might still be down at that KFC.
He was
into
just,
that kid's
he was,
eyes.
there was a glaring contest. He was not going to speak. And I don't think at any point he did.
Okay, you want to do one more story, Dave? $30,000 worth of stolen Labubus have been recovered by police in California, so we can all breathe easy.
Save
The
the
Labubus are
Labubus.
going home. They were stolen from a warehouse. The police are being very secretive about who owns the warehouse, what the warehouse is. All I know, it was 30 grand worth of stolen Labubus.
It's like 10 Labubus.
This went to the top of the priority list, and they got those Labubus home. So thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Had they been Lafufus, who cares?
Yeah.
Well, that's junk. I mean,
or Ladudus.
$10,000 worth of Labubus is like 15 trucks full. I mean, they'll pay you to take them.
That's right.
The Fufus, rather.
Can I add one more thing?
Of
I know we
course.
got to go here. We have a flash flood warning now for Madison County, St. Charles County, St. Clair County, St. Louis, and St. Louis City.
Okay.
And that's mainly due to the rain that we've had. The little streams and creeks are coming up fast. So just if you live along these small creeks, we all know where they are because we live around them. And there is highway flooding. So just a little extra care out.
All righty. Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
The reasons to move some of your money from your bank to First Missouri Credit Union, the soft reasons first. They are cooler. They are way more laid back. They say yes more often. You are not a customer. You're not a client. You are an owner. You put $25 in a checking account and you are an owner of First Missouri Credit Union. So they want to do everything they can, bend over backwards to make you, the owner, happy. When you borrow money, you're going to get better rates because what the banks would call profit and they put it in their pockets, which is fine, the American way. We take that quote unquote profit and put it back into the credit union and buy down loans. So you're going to pay less. 4.27% interest on our checking up to $100,000. If you take a look in St. Louis, most 12 months